regulation of all tobacco products and the opportunity to encourage development of innovative tobacco products that may be less dangerous than combustible cigarettes. While public health officials welcome the proposal to lower nicotine content in conventional cigarettes, they disapprove of the proposal to extend the deadlines by which e-cigarette companies will be required to seek authorization for new and existing products. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Officials for the Centers for Disease Contraction and Preservation held a press conference urging all Americans to suck on as many doorknobs as possible.
This flu season, the Center for Disease Contraction is recommending that all Americans, regardless of age or health condition, find a doorknob in a high-traffic area, wrap their mouths around it, and vigorously lick and suck it until they contract an illness. We recommend sucking doorknobs covered in a visible film of human hand grease. But the fact is, sucking on any doorknob can increase the likelihood of exposing yourself and your family to deadly pathogens by as much as 450%.
An instructional video released on the CDC's website showcases the proper method for sucking doorknobs while also providing tips for projecting all sneezes and coughs outward, sharing used Kleenexes and toilet paper with as many people as possible, eating 3 meals a day from local garbage cans, and dozens of other easy bacteria-spreading activities.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want to discuss. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
The Skype username here is lrn.fm, so feel free to connect with us there if you would like. We got a couple of updates here tonight of news stories that we have talked about, including the young lady, and I don't know if that's the right term for this person, but a young female who is now being convicted of texting somebody, texting her boyfriend to kill himself.
Yes.
Tell you about that story coming up here. You can share your thoughts at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Also, another update from our very own Dave Ridley, former sometime co-host here on Free Talk Live. He is apparently writing for a cryptocurrency-related website now.
That's right.
Don't know if you knew that. CryptoInsider.com, and he's been following very closely the case of Morpheus Titania. You may remember that name. It's fairly unique, from a few weeks ago or several weeks back here on Free Talk Live, where we reported, and I think we had Ernest Hancock on the program to talk about it, but we reported on what happened with this Morpheus guy, who is a liberty activist down in the Phoenix, Arizona area, who had his home raided by presumably, I think it was the FBI, maybe some other agencies, but definitely at least the FBI raided his home, and it was ostensibly over him selling Bitcoin on the internet via a website called localbitcoins.com. But at the time of the raid, they didn't arrest him for any Bitcoin sales-related stuff. They arrested him for felon in possession of ammunition. And that's what they put him in the clink for.
Is that a charge, felon in possession of ammunition?
Sure is, as I understand it. And so now we have an update on that particular case, because as I understand it, Morpheus is still behind bars. He has yet to either be, I'm not sure if he's been denied bail or just can't afford whatever the bail is, but he's still in there. And according to CryptoInsider.com, Dave Ridley, when computer engineer Theo Chino recently went to visit one of his favorite Bitcoin sellers in sweltering Florence, Arizona, he was forbidden to wear shorts. Trading crypto was out of the question, and he says so was the possession of a writing instrument. That's because Chino's visit occurred at the Central Arizona Detention Center, temporarily the home to Morpheus Titania, one of America's best-known crypto detainees. Titania, legal name Thomas Costanzo, is in there because, well, that depends on who you ask. In fact, there are enough claims and theories flying around to cause an Alex Jones-ruption. Officially.
Frogs are gay! You're making the frogs gay!
By the way, I saw the John Oliver presentation about Alex Jones, 20-minute long segment that they did recently. Wow. Boy, was that interesting.
I saw it too.
I've never actually listened through to an Alex Jones show, so I'm one of those people who only ever sees the clips, the most entertaining clips of it. And if you haven't seen the John Oliver, Alex Jones, I don't know what you want to call it, segment, it's a long segment, it's 20 minutes, you really ought to, because it's, I would say, a shocker, I think, for some people. For those who aren't the true Kool-Aid drinkers are probably going to be pretty amazed by it.
Well, I hesitate. Oliver is just on the other side, right? Like, this guy has been he doesn't print retractions by any stretch of the imagination. When he's shown to be incorrect on an issue, you're not going to hear a retraction out of him either.
Let's come back to it, because I don't want to get too far afield here from the story about Thomas Costanzo, but I'll make a note. John Oliver will come back and discuss this and tell you more about what's actually contained in the 20-minute clip. So, Thomas Costanzo, again, Morpheus, a.k.a. Morpheus Titania. Officially, the initial charge against Morpheus was felon in possession of ammunition. An old friend, Bob Podolsky, says 2 newer ones have appeared. He's been charged, writes the former Arizona resident, with money laundering or operating a money transmission business without a license and conspiracy to do that. In addition, though, he's been charged with some other things, and I'll just insert here because I went to the Pacer system last night. When I saw this story by Dave Ridley, it made me think, I need to check for updates here. What's the latest on this situation from Pacer? Now, Mark, do you know what Pacer is?
No.
So Pacer is the government system that you can log into that counts. You need a credit card to sign up, but they give you $15 worth of downloads per quarter.
Okay.
And it doesn't take long to rack up $15 worth of downloads, but it's a federal court document server, basically.
Right.
And so the federal government is charging you per page to read what are supposed to be publicly accessible documents.
Nice.
It's quite a scam, but this is how if you want to get information, say Ross Ulbricht or Thomas Costanzo or whatever federal
Gotta
case,
go through Pacer.
This is where you go. There is, however, an interesting workaround that the marketplace has come up with called Recap. Now, Recap is Pacer spelled backwards. And if you download the Recap plugin for your Firefox or Chrome browser, then you visit Pacer at pacer.gov. The Recap plugin will, once you search for a case, it will initiate. It will, come on, and it will start to capture everything that you download about that case. So therefore, what happens is, last night I downloaded
file sharing for government documents.
Exactly. So last night,
eDonkey.
No.
No,
eDonkey's like I don't even know if that exists anymore, but it was a decentralized file sharing app. This has nothing to do with file sharing as far as you're not hosting the files like you would be with a torrent or an eDonkey. These are just little PDFs. These are just little PDFs. So they're just using you're using their plugin to send Recap these PDF files from each case. They, catalog those, and then whenever somebody who has the Recap plugin goes back to that same case. So if you were to install the Recap plugin right now and go look up the Thomas Costanzo case on Pacer, what you'd see on the docket when you download the docket is you see the little R icon for the Recap. And that means Recap already has a copy of that PDF, so you don't have to pay to download it. It's a pretty brilliant system that essentially uses crowdsourcing. Huh?
How does the app get it for you, or the extension, or whatever it is?
Through the magic of programming. They whenever you're on Pacer,
you click it right there on the Pacer site, and
it notices. So when you download the PDF from Pacer,
listen to me. I understand. Recap shows you a little R. How do I get it? Once I know that Recap has the file,
you click and download it.
Right there on the page.
Right there on Pacer's own page. So Recap's literally putting their own logo into the document from Pacer and alerting you that, hey, you don't have to pay for this. You don't want to pay for the indictment here against Thomas Costanzo. That's okay. I already did last night from my $15 free per month.
Don't you feel this is like ripping off the government?
Absolutely not. I think these documents should be free. I think it's a ripoff that anybody has to pay anything. It's 10 cents a page. Yeah. Like, it's a ripoff that anyone should have to pay for what is ostensibly already paid for stuff. And so Recap's awesome. I mean, it's a great.
Do you have to have paid in order to use Recap? Do you have to have paid for the Pacer system already? That $15 initial dollars?
No, you don't actually have to pay to get onto Recap. You have to insert a credit card number, and you could use a prepaid.
On Pacer.
On Pacer, yeah. So when you open an account there, it does take it requires a credit card number. So in theory, they could charge you if you go above the $15 per quarter limit. But they do not charge you initially beyond maybe an initial authorization, which they then will take back off, right?
Pennies.
So $1 or something like that gets removed. So it does not cost anything to sign up for Pacer. If you don't want the government to have your credit card information, you can use like a prepaid card, one that's throwaway. It doesn't matter. They'll authorize that, and then that's you don't have to worry about it.
Gotcha.
But man, Recap is a great thing, and it's a big money saver for folks. But of course, in a case like this where there's new documents being posted, I was the first person who had the Recap plugin that downloaded the document about Thomas Costanzo, which is his charges from the grand jury in what is called the first superseding indictment. He has several counts. One of them is, of course, your standard kind of money transmission charge, claiming he was operating an unlicensed money transmitting business. And that's, let's see, at least one of the charges, maybe even two. Yeah, it's two of the seven, or multiple, actually more than 7 charges. The next 4 charges, however, actually the next 5 charges are all charges that have to do with an undercover agent. And we'll tell you more about that. This man arrested for doing business by selling Bitcoins, but what were the circumstances under which he sold those Bitcoins? We'll tell you a little bit more coming up here, and you can share your thoughts on Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-957-9489. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-957-9489. That's 1-800-957-9489. 1-800-957-9489.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
And membership is only $9.95.
Yep. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
You know how annoying it is when someone keeps stopping mid-sentence as though he or she were asking you a series of questions? Avoid doing that. It sounds unnervingly tentative, and it imposes upon the listener to help you complete the thought. And if you're a job seeker, this alone could be a deal killer. An effective communicator sounds more confident. Complete the thought. Avoid making the listener impatient. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook. survivalspeech.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You are invited to take control of the airwaves. You can bring up anything that you want. We're talking about the attack against a peaceful Bitcoin trader. Morpheus is what he called himself. Thomas Costanzo out in the Phoenix, Arizona area. We'll give you the latest on that case coming up here in moments. Our toll-free number for you to join us, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
So the internet is full of an incredible amount of innovations out there for clothing and backpacks, and you can see all kinds of ads for, real or imagined products that propose to solve different problems, some of them minor, some of them life-saving. But do they stop bullets? I recently got a vest from bulletblocker.com, and it's like a fleece vest. It's a garment. It looks just like any other fleece vest that you'd see out there. But it happens to have in it these Class 2 bullet blocking panels things. And so it won't stop something out of like a 30-30 rifle, but how many people are getting shot with rifles versus handguns out there?
Mm-hmm.
This company was founded by a former Army Ranger and a firearms instructor with the goal of making backpacks for kids to protect them in case of a school shooting. Now, they've risen to a huge selection of clothing, backpacks, briefcases that could all save your life. These products are attractive, well-made right here in the U.S., and you've got to have a nice jacket, so you might as well have one that stops bullets, too. Get something for the whole family. This isn't the kind of thing you get a second chance at. BulletBlocker.com. The lives in your family are priceless. Protect them at BulletBlocker.com.
So we're talking about Morpheus Titania, who's one of America's best-known crypto detainees, according to Crypto Insider's Dave Ridley, who's writing this update on the case that we reported on a while back. In fact, I think he even cites Free Talk Live here a little bit later on. But it's a sad, outrageous case. This man has not been accused of harming anyone. He has been charged with multiple counts in this latest, what they call the first superseding indictment, so an indictment to come after the initial indictment, where he was originally arrested for possession of, or felon in possession of ammunition, a federal firearms violation. That was what they charged him with when they went to raid his house over the alleged Bitcoin charges that had yet to actually be been hit with at that time. They have since hit him with these Bitcoin related charges, including operating an unlicensed money transmission business, but also multiple counts of, well, I'll just read one of them to you here. They don't get into a lot of detail about the allegations, but this should give you some idea of what they are alleging. On or about May 20th, 2015, in the District of Arizona, the defendant Thomas Mario Costanzo, with the intent to conceal and disguise the nature, location, source, ownership, and control of property believed to be the proceeds of specified unlawful activity, and with the intent to avoid a transaction reporting requirement under federal law, did knowingly conduct and attempt to conduct a financial transaction affecting interstate or foreign commerce involving property represented by a law enforcement officer to be proceeds of specified unlawful activity, to wit, $3,000 in U.S. currency. That's one of the charges. So it suggests that a law enforcement officer, an undercover agent likely, had somehow approached Mr. Costanzo and asked him to do something to assist the undercover officer with some sort of what was represented to be money that came, or Bitcoin that came from the proceeds of some sort of illegal thing.
And this is kind of the trick. This is how I believe they got Charlie Shrim back in the day too.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they actually got him by the fact that he had unencrypted emails conversations with him and somebody from the Silk Road, talking about how he was willing to get this person from the Silk Road, which was an underground drug marketplace, Bitcoin. And
So
they
I'm
busted
curious, and look,
He went to prison for 2 years, by the way, Charlie.
I'm not an attorney, and I don't know the specifics here, but if they're turning Bitcoin into cash, is that what Costanza was doing here?
It's not clear.
Okay, one would think that was what was going on, but like
it could be the reverse.
Turning cash into Bitcoin?
Could be.
But only if they said, I'm going to buy drugs with this? Because they can't really say this cash was used to buy drugs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably that he was selling them Bitcoin. That's probably what
So
had occurred.
we're going to buy drugs with this Bitcoin.
Or something like that. It says here that it was a property represented by a law enforcement officer to be proceeds of specified unlawful activity. So maybe it was the reverse. Maybe they had Bitcoin that they claimed that they, had gotten from a drug deal, and they wanted him to turn it into cash.
That makes more sense. I
But
guess
it can happen the other way. If they want to get Bitcoin to buy drugs, that also is something you don't want to do as a Bitcoin seller.
So if the Bitcoin was not the proceeds of a drug deal, can he be convicted of that? Because it simply wasn't true.
It doesn't matter whether it was true or not. I mean, it's usually not true when the cops are trying to sell you.
The cops can lie,
Right.
but that doesn't make their charge legit. Does that make sense? Like, ladies and gentlemen of the
intention
jury,
is what matters.
Well,
the intention of the criminal intent.
The charge here clearly says that the charge that was put together by politicians clearly says that that it has to be from actual laundering, not the willingness to launder, but actual laundering.
I doubt the charges.
Ladies and
I doubt the charges like that.
There is no laundering here because the money wasn't dirty. So I propose that this charge be completely thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, these are money laundering related charges, so there probably is something in the statutes that say as long as it was the intent of the person to violate the money laundering statutes. In the same way that if you take a bag of sugar and you go and
Sell it as
say,
cocaine.
hey, I'll sell you this, eighth of cocaine or whatever. And
Pretty sure that that's more than that, yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I just said a bag of sugar. Anyway,
Okay,
if somebody sells you a bag of sugar representing it as cocaine, they have sold you a drug under the eyes of most state laws, as I understand it. There is a charge about that, like represented drugs or something like that. It's not the exact charge of sales of a prohibited product or sales of contraband. It is the charge of you were representing as though you were selling contraband. So to them, that's good enough. And here,
but no charges actually make it to trial anymore, and this is one of the things that sort of worries me about this, is that I wonder how, because the government is happy to hand off charges to you. They'll just give you any old charges you're willing to take.
And in this case, they racked up other charges. So I read you the first one of 5 related charges. The first one was for $3,000 in currency. Then, October 7th, he did another deal, allegedly, with an undercover agent for $13,000 in U.S. currency. And then another one at $13,000 in November. Another one at $13,000 in $30,000 in February of this year, and then April of this year, actually on April 20th of this year, a $107,000 deal was the final deal that they busted him with. So again, all ostensibly where he was somehow, again, they don't get into detail on exactly what happened in the other undercover situations, but ostensibly they are going to claim that Costanza was informed somehow by this federal agent that this was the proceeds of something illegal, presumably drugs, but we're guessing. It doesn't say what. And that he agreed to help this person.
Yeah, and I think that the takeaway here is if you're selling Bitcoin and somebody says, this here's to buy illegal ammunition to give to my revolutionary friends or some other
or whatever
illegal activity,
just say no.
Thanks.
Just
Sorry,
say no.
bye-bye.
855-450 free like freedom. More about what's happening with Morpheus, a.k.a. Thomas Costanzo, in moments, and you can share your thoughts. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Tyler, time to go for our family walk.
Just let me nap a little longer.
You promised we'd get more active.
I know. How come you're so ready to go?
It's Superberry's Aronia berries.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness.
Where'd you get them?
I ordered them from superberries.com/radio, and right now we can get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus, we can save $4 at checkout.
I can't wait to try them. I'll get the dog.
I'll get the kids.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
Free Talk Live.
I spent 8.5 years of my life in prison, and I blame it squarely on the shoulders of Christianity and the stories that I was told. If my parents, if the people at the Christian school, if the people at church would have just explained morality to me as opposed to explaining heaven and hell as a reason for doing what was right and what was wrong, I think I would have understood. It's relatively easy. If you do the moral thing in life, your life is going to be better. You're going to sleep better at night. You're going to probably be much more prosperous.
Right,
They say crime doesn't pay. They say it for a reason.
Happen right here in this world. We don't have to wait for an afterlife to experience the consequences of our actions, whether good or bad,
If I would have just been given the gift of morality instead of the gift of some silly, crazy story, I would never have gone to prison.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about the targeting of a Bitcoin trader, Thomas Costanzo, a.k.a. Morpheus Titania, who is currently behind bars on multiple federal counts of money laundering and operating a so-called money transmitter without a license. Also being charged with felon in possession of ammunition. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Mark.
So you want to get into Bitcoin mining, do you? Well, it's kind of expensive and a hassle to put together the equipment and have the technical know-how that you need to, in order to make the stuff work. If you're not, I would say, advanced when it comes to computing, you don't want to get into Bitcoin mining on that end. But there's an easy way for people who don't know the technical side of mining to get into it. Pool.bitcoin.com has made it possible for people like Mark to get into Bitcoin mining. Mark can barely program a VCR, but he is now into Bitcoin mining at pool.bitcoin.com. And the way you do it is you use their little calculator on there. It gives you some idea of what you could make based on what you put into it. So you decide your own investment. You get to it's a wide range of options there. And then it just starts cranking away. Within minutes, you are online, and your little happy little miners are chugging away, and hopefully you're going to be getting some Bitcoin in. It's been working out so far. I think I'm like 3 months into my 6-month contract. And Mark, you did a lifetime contract, which means the lifetime of the equipment, not your lifetime.
Not my lifetime.
But
I like the sound of it.
Yeah, and then you can get statistics throughout the months or monthly summaries and things like that. You can log in anytime to check your mining status. There's a 100% uptime guarantee, and it's super easy to use their website. So go and check it out over at pool.bitcoin.com. That's pool.bitcoin.com. And if you're one of the few and the proud that actually do have the technical expertise to have your own mining rig at your house or office or something like that, and you want to move to the Bitcoin pool, you can do that over at pool.bitcoin.com. Plus, you get to choose over at pool.bitcoin.com whether you want your miner to be mining on the Bitcoin or the old Bitcoin, if you will, or the new Bitcoin Cash, which is getting closer and closer to being as profitable as the old Bitcoin mining setup was. It's you decide which one you want to use there. Go to pool.bitcoin.com. And the Bitcoin Cash thing is going to get even better in about 13 days. I was reading an update on the difficulty of the new Bitcoin Cash. For listeners that don't know, Bitcoin, the world's most famous cryptocurrency that's been with us for about 8 or 9 years, finally forked into 2 versions of itself. One of them is now called Bitcoin Cash. So there's basically 2 competing Bitcoins out there. The Bitcoin Cash is worth about a tenth, let's say roughly, of the price of a regular Bitcoin.
Yep.
And the Bitcoin Cash started at a very high mining difficulty because it started out as though it were the same difficulty as the current Bitcoin, which has been gaining in its difficulty over time. Bitcoin's mining difficulty increases the more people are sort of in that game. And since Bitcoin Cash is not as popular, not as far as the miners are concerned, there's nowhere near as many people mining Bitcoin Cash. The mining difficulty has been adjusting downward, and there's going to be a pretty major adjustment in about 13 days, from what I understand. So about 2 weeks from now, we're going to see an even bigger drop. There's already been some pretty big drops in the difficulty of Bitcoin Cash, but it should be dropped down to what it should most appropriately be, which is to say that the Bitcoin Cash blocks will be mined once every 10 minutes once this new adjustment happens in a couple of weeks. And that's going to put it on an even keel as far as blocks per minute between both Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. But Bitcoin Cash is going to be like, 100 times easier or something like that. It's going to be a lot easier to mine that. So at some point, it may become that Bitcoin Cash is the most profitable compared to the original Bitcoin. So it's kind of interesting to watch all this stuff happen.
Yeah.
This competition that had never existed before to Bitcoin. So you decide which one you want to mine, and you can switch it at any time. So I was doing Bitcoin Cash the first week it came out, and I switched back to Bitcoin. So pool.bitcoin.com. So we are talking about Thomas Costanzo, a.k.a. Morpheus Titania. He's in a prison cell right now awaiting trial on multiple counts of so-called money laundering, where ostensibly, according to the indictment here from the federal court system's PACER, the allegations are that he did some sort of knowingly conduct an attempt to conduct a financial transaction affecting interstate or foreign commerce involving property represented by a law enforcement officer to be proceeds of a specified unlawful activity, to wit, $3,000 in U.S. currency. Then there was another one for $3,000, another for $13,000, and then $30,000, and then $100,000.
Yeah, 30 and
several counts, five different counts of alleged money laundering. So it sounds like a cop, undercover agent, came to him and said, "Hey, Mr. Morpheus, I've got $100,000 here from some drug sales, and I need to turn that into Bitcoin. Can you help me with that?" And allegedly,
answer should have been know.
Right.
If it wasn't, we don't know what happened.
Yeah,
No.
we don't know. We don't even have specific
I'm just giving
allegations.
people advice here. At this point, Morpheus is in the machinations of the state, and it's going to be very difficult to get out. But if this ever happens to you and somebody comes along, the only person that's going to tell you that they're doing something illegal with this stuff is an undercover cop.
Or a really dumb guy. I mean, it's possible that... You don't think so? I think it is possible.
Well,
I'll give you an example. I'll give you a real life example of this. Okay, so listeners who may be aware that I operate some of the a couple of the Bitcoin vending machines. I'm one of the administrators of those machines here in New Hampshire. And one guy had come in to use the Bitcoin vending machine. This was like 2 years ago. So this was back when the only vending machine in New Hampshire was here in Keene. And dude came into the store where the vending machine was, but there was something wrong on that particular day. The vending machine was out of order, and I forget what the reason was, but he was told, "I'm sorry, the machine's down." So
You're out of luck.
Yep. He then went to the local store called Corner News here in Keene. It's a downtown icon. It's been there over 100 years. It's just a little corner news shop with newspapers, cigarettes, beers, and things like that. But the lady there has been accepting Bitcoin since 2013, and this guy knew that, right? So he knew that she was a Bitcoin accepting person. He went in there because he wanted to buy some Bitcoin. So he asked her if she would sell him some Bitcoin, and she said she didn't have enough to sell him because he wanted like $500 worth. So she calls me up. She says, it wasn't her. It was. Well, either way, it was one of the other businesses. They called me up and said, "Hey, this guy is looking to buy some Bitcoin. Can I send him over to you personally?" So I said, "Sure, yeah, have him come by." And dude comes by. Actually, he didn't come by that day. It took him like 2 days to finally, get over here.
So it was an emergency.
And so he shows up, and kind of a big guy, not fat, but big tall guy, like big and tall, and maybe in his late 50s. He comes up and he starts talking to me, and he wants to buy Bitcoin. Like, that's $500 worth of Bitcoin, and I figured out what the current rate was and figured out what that would be. And he says, "Here's my wallet, or here's where I want the Bitcoin to go." And he shows me this thing, and I think the address, you could see the address for the website. It was a web wallet, so it wasn't one of the wallet programs that you have on your phone that traditionally most people who are buying Bitcoin are going to have. He was on some website that was like, I don't know what I think it was, like Seedsman or something like that, seedsman.com. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to ask you what that is. Because I could have gone on like, I don't know what that could be. And, maybe it was for rhododendron seeds or something like that. But I at that point, I had too much information about this person,
right,
and what they wanted to do. I said, what website is this? And he says, "Oh, I want to buy some marijuana seeds." And I said, "I'm sorry, while I support legalization and I support ending the war on drugs, I'm sorry, I can't help you with this. Had you just gotten some Bitcoin, I wouldn't have known, right, that or whatever."
Yeah, he didn't really want Bitcoin. He wanted to buy seeds, and
he wanted to buy seeds, and he wanted me to put my Bitcoin, the Bitcoin that I was in control of, directly into this website's account, which. Rule number one, if you're buying Bitcoin at the Bitcoin vending machines here in New Hampshire, at least the ones that I'm the administrator of, one of the top 2 or 3 rules is you have to use your own wallet that you control. Because even if you're not trying to buy something shifty, and again, if we find out you are, we're not going to do business with you. But
how are you going to know if you got it?
Yeah, you won't know that you got it. How do you know you're not on some website that's scamming you out of Bitcoins? So you always want to use a wallet that you control personally. So I had to turn this guy down, and he seemed nice enough. And I'll tell you what I learned about him coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Ew, get the stinky dog away from me. DINOVITE.com.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea
Free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply. Or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. Earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Really creative.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com. I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin. mymagicmud.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll-free here. Bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
We're talking about the federal crackdown on a man named Morpheus Titania. Well, that's his pseudonym. He is legally known as Thomas Costanzo and has been charged with multiple counts of alleged money laundering. Not even conspiracy to money launder, but just straight up money laundering. And also unlicensed money transmitting business operation, as well as conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money transmission business, and the possession of ammunition as a felon. He's currently behind bars, and I don't know if bail has even been announced for him as far as an option. I'm not clear on that. I think the excuse is because he's a felon with ammunition, therefore he's dangerous, and so they need to keep him in jail, which is ridiculous, but that would be their excuse, I suspect.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't be offering bail.
Maybe they are, and maybe you just can't afford it. That's certainly a possibility. So
if he's moving $100,000 of the Bitcoin, you think he could?
Unless, of course, they froze all of his assets. But, it's possible that they didn't freeze his Bitcoin because they couldn't find it, but he can't exactly get access to it if he's behind bars.
Correct.
So anyway, CryptoInsider.com's Dave Ridley, who we've had on the show as a co-host in the past, is reporting on this situation. And it says here that ammunition was one of the few items with which the warrant ordered enforcers to not seize from Costanzo's modest apartment. And since Homeland Security or Treasury agents don't usually get involved in hunts for a couple of Winchester boxes, it's safe to assume that these weren't the magnet. But whatever drew authorities to his home in Mesa, Arizona, it drew a lot of them. Freedom's Phoenix claimed that at least 5 government agencies, including the Federal Treasury Department, were present. Local indie reporter Ernest Hancock, an old friend of the door-to-door house call banker, attended Costanzo's initial detention hearing on April 27th and initially forwarded this explanation of why authorities may have made such a fuss over him and kept him detained so long without trial. If they were looking for a Bitcoin drug thing, he said in a late April call to Free Talk Live, that's this show, based on his observation of official documents and the lack of drug-related charges thus far, Hancock's thinking, initially at least, pointed toward a fumble in the Fed's target selection. Quote, someone's not getting promoted over this, he added. Both Hancock and other morphspiracy theorists who know the free-spirited trader claim that he practiced a policy of standing up and walking away if he had reason to believe that the money would be used for illegal drugs. The long detention may be attributable to the alleged failure to appear in Titania's past and a previous lengthy victimless crime rap sheet. We might refer to the above as the honest mistake theory, assuming we're playing a little fast and loose with the word honest, says Ridley. Authorities saw perhaps some sort of activity pattern which their training outside of Bitcoin associates with drugs. See, now he's speculating here. I've read the actual indictment, and the indictment makes it pretty clear. They are alleging that he knew that there was some sort of illegal activity going on. Maybe it wasn't drugs, but that seems like that would be the most likely option here. So Ridley is, kind of speculating. I don't think he'd seen this particular indictment yet.
Sure, you were the first one to get it.
Yeah, I was the first one to download it with Recap. That doesn't mean I was the first one ever to download it. But anyway, he says that to Bitcoiners or average folk, it might look innocuous, purely financial, but our training is different from that of policy enforcers. This theory probably bodes the best for the crypto community, as it would indicate the Morpheus arrest is not part of an escalating widespread attack by U.S. officials. And that is the big concern here. Whenever one of these Bitcoin traders gets popped, there's always some concern, like on the local bitcoins.com forums, of people saying,
this is it.
They're coming for all of us.
They're rounding up the cryptos.
Because I don't know how many people are active on that site, but worldwide it must be thousands and thousands and thousands of people. U.S., probably hundreds and hundreds, if not several thousand people, as far as buyers and sellers and things like that. It's a very, very popular website as far as acquiring Bitcoin is concerned. So obviously people are concerned about this, but in pretty much every case that I can recall, once the details start coming out about, headline, Bitcoin trader arrested.
Yeah.
And then once the details start coming out about the case, you start learning that this person did some sort of thing with someone who claimed to be doing, buying drugs.
Allegedly.
Or whatever, allegedly. So it almost always has some other component besides we're just going after this person because they sold or bought Bitcoin,
right?
As a job or a business or whatever. It's almost always associated with something else, like drug sales or money laundering for drug sales for a drug dealer or something like that. Anyway, general crackdown. Next, there is what we might call the general crackdown theory, which particularly in light of the attack on BTCE, which is an exchange that was recently taken down by the federal government, an exchange based in Russia, mind you.
Yeah.
Seems to be gaining traction.
An exchange based in Russia that I had problems with in the past, and I've met quite a few people who have too. This was a pretty shady operation.
Yeah, they took some of your money.
Well, they certainly didn't help me get it back, I can tell you that much.
Podolsky, Titania's old friend, is a good spokesman for this line of thinking. Podolsky believes Washington ultimately cannot tolerate a successful independent currency and will try to make tax-free trading of Bitcoin impractical. He said in May, quote, "It seems that local Bitcoins has become the target. When they're through with him, they'll be coming after us," unquote. Another possibility is what you might call the Wolfpack theory. The feds, acting in their unpopular role as world government, may treat Bitcoin somewhat like they treat guns. Though firearms, like cryptocurrencies, are technically legal in the United States, the federal government rules governing them are designed to be broken rather than followed. That gives D.C. the opportunity to prey on the herd of gun owners as much as a group of wolves preys on a herd of buffalo. They don't kill off the herd. They treat it as more of a source of income.
Yeah.
Their raids on it also affect the herd's behavior. So
he's absolutely right. That's what they do to gun owners.
Yep.
They just pick them off as it's convenient.
So the selective attacks become a means of exerting control without massive effort, because it would be a massive effort if they wanted to go and raid every person on local Bitcoins who's ever sold, some Bitcoin to somebody or bought some Bitcoin from somebody multiple times. They would be going after I don't know how many people, but it would be quite a few. So the fact that they only do it occasionally here and there kind of keeps this kind of question mark up in the air about, who's going to be the next target? Are they going to keep targeting people? What are the circumstances under which they are targeting people? Is it only the people who are doing illegal things with their Bitcoin that have to, or that they're knowledgeably doing sales to people who are doing illegal things with Bitcoin? Are those the ones that, have to be concerned? Anyway, their raids, for his part, Titania's visitor Chino suspects it was his relative prominence that got Morpheus targeted. Quote, there are not many people selling Bitcoins on local Bitcoin in the community. And I think he means the Liberty community, perhaps. Okay. He says he was an outspoken Bitcoin activist. Meanwhile, the opposition to Titania's incarceration, something that Dave Ridley says he's a part of, has become more organized. Chino's planning to set up a database to list what the apparent political prisoner is receiving from supporters and what he still needs. The idea is to prevent two people from sending in the same items. The reportedly paperwork-hating dissident does like one type of writing, anything that lets him read about Bitcoin and similar topics. He said he'll now be running the facility's library. Hancock reported Titania's demeanor in court as sullen, but by contrast, Chino says the detainee is now upbeat and hopeful in his words, quote, because he knows the community is mobilizing in his support. And I hope that at some point we can get a phone call from this guy. I mean, I know that normally when you're charged with something, the lawyers say, don't talk to the media. So
they sure do.
We probably won't end up getting a phone call, but it is always interesting to hear from, directly from the source. What are these people alleging that you've done, and that kind of thing.
The media is a tricky game when you're facing charges. The reason that lawyers say don't talk to the media is because you can really stick your foot in your mouth. But
yeah, that's true.
You can also really do some wonderful things for your case. And that's the difficulty here in this circumstances is, avoiding doing that. Having the attorneys on, often the attorneys don't trust themselves either because they won't come on.
Sure.
Yeah, so,
We'll keep you informed as this case develops. And if you hear something before we talk about it on the air, please feel free to call in and let us know, because this is an important question. Shouldn't you have the ability to sell a thing online without having to beg government's permission first? Because to me, Bitcoin, yeah, it's a currency, but it's not a currency like we've ever seen before. Essentially, it's freedom of speech, if you think about it, because Bitcoin is writing. Well, somebody wrote some code.
But that's the argument with the what's the Supreme Court case that gets the liberals all in a bunch about corporations being people. The idea that corporations have freedom of speech means that they can fund political campaigns. Even the Supreme Court says that money is speech.
Sure. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but this is even more so because it actually was written by somebody. Sure. Bitcoin is code.
It is writing, yeah.
Written by somebody. People are literally trading ones and zeros out there on the internet. And as much as the government wants to try to stop Bitcoin, they never really can. They can try to, bite at the people who might be using it here and there, or the exchanges. There's more coming up here. 855 450 free.
Have you ever thought about mining Bitcoin? Did the costs, constant equipment upgrades, and maintenance scare you off? Do you want to make Bitcoin every day in the same mining pool that Ian and I do? Pool.bitcoin.com. There's a 100% uptime guarantee. The website's easy to use, and you can calculate what you're going to make right there on the website at pool.bitcoin.com. Help steer Bitcoin towards the liberating currency that Satoshi Nakamoto meant it to be. I'm not just making money at pool.bitcoin.com. I'm doing activism while I sleep. Pool.bitcoin.com. What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, August 9th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.82 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,275 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,332. Antiwar.com reports taking time out of his vacation for a photo op at Trump National Golf Club. President Trump threatened to attack North Korea with fire and fury like the world has never seen if they make any threats towards the United States. The comments came after anonymous media reports on a classified analysis from U.S. intelligence officials saying that they believe North Korea has miniaturized their nuclear warheads to fit on missiles. The assessment was said to have been from last month, but Trump's reaction suggested he believed it was not only new, but something North Korea had announced as a threat. President Trump also tweeted a Fox and Friends report about North Korea having loaded cruise missiles on a patrol boat after his own administration had refused comment on the same report, saying it was based on classified intelligence. North Korea did not announce miniaturization, however, they did threaten mobilization, but only in reaction to the latest round of UN sanctions, which they describe as an attempt to strangle the nation. The U.S. had heavily backed the UN sanctions, and Trump had repeatedly bragged about their size. Reports also suggest North Korea is considering a plan to preemptively attack the U.S. territory of Guam if they believe a U.S. attack is imminent. This mirrors the threats of Trump and others to preemptively attack them, suggesting both nations continue to speed towards a military confrontation. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Disney announced on Tuesday it will remove its content from Netflix and begin its own streaming service in 2019. Disney said in a press release, the new Disney-branded service will become the exclusive home in the U.S. for subscription video-on-demand viewing of the newest live-action and animated movies from Disney and Pixar, which includes Toy Story 4, the sequel to Frozen, The Lion King from Disney Live Action, along with other highly anticipated movies. Disney's Marvel TV shows like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are expected to remain on Netflix. CEO Bob Iger told CNBC that Disney had a good relationship with Netflix, but the company wants to increase its options for releasing its vast library of content to the public. Disney has been in the process of ramping up its streaming ability since it acquired a 33% stake in BAMTech, a marketing and streaming service, for $1 billion in 2016. Disney is now planning to buy a majority stake in that company for $1.58 billion to launch an ESPN ESPN streaming service in 2018. Disney said the ESPN-branded multi-sport service will offer a robust array of sports programming featuring approximately 10,000 live regional, national, and international games and events a year, including Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, Major League Soccer, Grand Slam tennis, and college sports. Individual sport packages will also be available for purchase. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports, hot on the heels of its proposal to lower nicotine levels in cigarettes, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced plans on Tuesday for an education campaign to discourage use of electronic cigarettes among youth. The plan follows the agency's proposal last month to both lower nicotine in combustible cigarettes and extend by 4 years the date by which e-cigarette manufacturers will be required to apply for authorization to sell their products. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said in a statement the new policy aims to strike a careful balance between the regulation of all tobacco products and the opportunity to encourage development of innovative tobacco products that may be less dangerous than combustible cigarettes. While public health officials welcome the proposal to lower nicotine content in conventional cigarettes, they disapprove of the proposal to extend the deadlines by which e-cigarette companies will be required to seek authorization for new and existing products. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. In local news, a succession of terrible events failed to befall a 33-year-old riding a longboard to his digital media job Monday. Shocked bystanders helplessly watched as media developer Jake Reston skated safely through Manhattan traffic without flipping over on his obnoxiously oversized skateboard and smashing his stupid face into the pavement, with many saying they were horrified at the sight of the floppy-haired little shit walking into his office unscathed.
It was one of the most horrible things I've ever seen. He wasn't even hit by a car. I was just praying that someone would step in and throw him off his stupid little skateboard and punch him right in the mouth.
In other news, a study finds owning a cool leather jacket is more rewarding than raising a child. A community garden sprouts the first condom wrapper of spring, and a little turtle gorges on an entire raspberry.
Tonight in the cabin, schoolmarm's telling about how they talk about corpulation down the school. Only a fool needs telling how to screw. Just let the pecker guide you. But come on, listen anyhow.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. You can dial in toll-free and bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM. Coming up, Michelle Carter. You may recall the name, although it's pretty generic. She is apparently going to prison for texting her then-boyfriend to kill himself. We'll tell you about that coming up here in moments.
They keep using that term, boyfriend.
An outrageous case. But let's go to your calls and thoughts first here. Patrick, you're on listening to K-Talks out in Bullhead City, Arizona. You're on with Free Talk Live. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to let you know you got some free publicity this morning. They were talking about Bitcoin, and they didn't mention guys on AM Coast to Coast, you know, that early morning program.
Oh, really?
They talk about all sorts of stuff. Huh. Yeah, they had a guy who was bringing you up. It was pretty neat. You know, it was both
bringing
pro
Bitcoin
and con.
up.
Yeah, Bitcoin, but he mentioned he didn't mention you guys or your show by name, but you could tell he was talking about it.
Cool.
And
Well,
it was
we're not
quite
the only
interesting.
we're not the only people in the world who talk about Bitcoin, but I appreciate that you thought of us when the conversation was.
He could very well have been talking about us. You never know.
So, what were they saying? Good things about Bitcoin or not so nice things?
Well, it was pro and con. It was pretty interesting. They were talking about the pros of it becoming more of a universal way of currency to digitalize. They were, mostly what you guys talk about. And then they were also talking about in case all the computers went down, But it was really actually pretty good and very educational. A lot of times I don't understand what you guys are talking about, but in a lot of ways I got some clarity with this program.
Excellent.
Good, man. Well, I'm glad that we could be of some assistance. We always do our best to try to make the Bitcoin conversation as understandable as possible for somebody who might just be tuning in for the first time. It's a challenge.
But that isn't easy, yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge because sometimes even if we are, trying our best to explain the basics, somebody still might just tune in after we've just finished explaining those basics. So,
yeah.
It's not.
But, the most fascinating thing was he was talking about how people don't like change.
That's right, yeah.
In our society, and how with the banking institutions feeling threatened by all this transition and everything. But I've learned that change sometimes is good, guys.
Yeah, it is.
We need to change.
Well, one thing that's for sure about life is that you're going to experience change. I mean, that's just a guarantee, whether it's the change within your own body or the changes outside of it in nature or the change in the political system. There's always something. The change in your workplace, industry changes, the elimination and creation of entire industries and businesses. Our whole lives are about how we navigate through those changes. And for anybody that tries to resist those changes, they're going to find themselves on the wrong side of history.
It's true, but I want to tell you guys, keep up the good work. I really enjoy your program. So does all my other fellow officers that have become hooked on you guys.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
I still try to get them to call in, but I think a lot of them are just a little bit too shy and a little bit nervous about calling in. And maybe possibly getting in trouble.
Thank you for the call, Patrick. I appreciate the kind words. And
apologize to him for me.
Thanks for the call. Toll-free number here tonight, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. He's a cop down there in the Bullhead City area.
I've been through Bullhead City. Very nice.
So you can bring up whatever you want. What is not nice is what Michelle Carter did to her, what you said is not her boyfriend, but the media describes as her boyfriend.
The media can't get enough of describing them as boyfriend-girlfriend, but they lived, I think it was about 100 miles apart or less. Or
There's possible. People have long-distance relationships or want to believe they're having long-distance relationships.
Do you call that a long-distance relationship?
100 miles?
Yeah.
That's a distance.
These people are in their late teens. The man killed himself in a truck.
Yeah.
He hadn't seen her in over a year. They had never consummated.
It's not too far to have gone a few times in a year, for sure. I agree with you.
Yeah, this just isn't like.
But it's still long distance. I mean, 100 miles is pretty far away.
They talked regularly, she's a girlfriend in the sense that she's a friend and a girl, but this does not fit my definition of a girlfriend. I don't really get what they're talking about. If you think that they're boyfriend and girlfriend, please call me with information about the last time they saw each other, the last time they kissed each other, the last time, the vehicles that these people have. This is not a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. These are pen pals, modern-day pen pals.
I would say your assessment could very well be accurate there, Mark, especially if they hadn't seen each other in a year and they only lived 100 miles away.
We've talked about this,
100 miles is far enough to be quite an inconvenience, I think, to a relationship because, what is it, 50 miles from here to Manchester, and that's a solid hour and 20-minute drive. So, you're talking about 100 miles. You're probably talking about 2-3 hours in the car, one direction. It's still a distance, but it's not an insurmountable distance, I guess you could say. So Ms. Carter, who is now 20 years old, and I believe she was, 17 or something like that at the time? I don't know if it says it here. But anyway, she was found guilty and sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for what? For encouraging her then 18-year-old boyfriend, Conrad Roy, to take his own life 3 years ago. Roy killed himself on July 12, 2014, by inhaling carbon monoxide produced by a water pump in his truck. The teen, who had a history of mental illness, I got to say, I don't know enough about cars, Mark. How do you get water pumps? That's what makes the carbon monoxide?
Exhaust is what I would.
I always thought it was the exhaust. I thought he hooked up a hose to his exhaust pipe, and
you shouldn't be taking. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I like I said, you're the guy who knows more about cars in the room than
I do,
than me,
but I don't. Yeah, I would have thought that we were talking about exhaust here.
I thought that's what the original story was. This is BuzzFeed, so who knows? Maybe
my house has a carbon monoxide detector in it.
Yeah.
I've pulled my vehicle into my garage, which is attached to my house, and set off
the detector.
The detector in the past. So I presume that has something to do with exhaust.
So while he was trying to kill himself, he did get out of the truck because he was scared, he texted her. But she urged him to get back in. According to text messages that she had exchanged with her friends, Carter won't begin her prison sentence until all state appeals have been exhausted. However, after Judge Lawrence Moniz granted her defense lawyer's motion to stay her incarceration until the appeals move through the Massachusetts court system. If she does serve prison time, she'll likely serve 15 months in jail with the rest of the sentence suspended until August 1st, 2022, according to Moniz. The sentence was far lighter than what prosecutors had hoped for. During Thursday's hearing, they asked Moniz to sentence Carter to 7 to 12 years in prison. Carter's defense requested she receive no jail time and 5 years supervised probation under various conditions, including mental health counseling. In his decision, Moniz said that he did not find Carter's age, her level of maturity, or mental illness to have, quote, any significant impact on her actions, unquote.
So, this is the part that I don't get. The guy who kills himself is a poor, mentally disturbed kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the story.
Yep.
But she is a diabolical tricksterist.
Yep.
Right? Like, I guess she's
just a bitch. She is.
That's what it's. I don't know whether that's what people think. I don't know the answer to that.
You tell somebody to go kill themselves, that's a pretty bitchy thing to do.
Sure, but somebody who's attempting to kill themselves is already doing this. Like, she'd been dealing with this for a very long time.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time.
She could have blocked his number if she didn't want to deal with it.
Sure, agreed. But she could very well have believed she was helping this guy. Right?
To kill himself.
Well, yes. Yeah. Is that was his
And
that
I don't
his
think
goal?
I don't think it should be illegal. I don't think that she committed a crime here.
So,
mind you.
The point is that he's a poor, mentally disturbed kid. She, younger than he,
that's true,
is a terrible person. She's mentally disturbed too.
Yeah.
And they're both dealing with the specter of suicide here. I just think that it's a bit unfair. I'm not trying to white knight for this lady or by any stretch of the imagination.
She ain't worth it.
No, she's not. I got nothing. But I mean, there's things that with the reporting about this case that bother me. Now, when we come back, I'm going to make my argument for her conviction.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I got to hear this. 855-450 free, like freedom. You can join us. Your thoughts are welcome. It's Free Talk Live.
For P150, P150GA, P150NY, P150OK, P150TN, C250A, C250E, C250Q. Not available in all states. If New York or Colorado, call for a similar offer.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company, 1-800-972-1059. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. Call now for a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-972-1059. That's 1-800-972-1059. 1-800-972-1059.
Chances are you wouldn't mind having more energy, better digestion, or more comfortable joints and muscles, right? But if you've taken supplements before without much success, be aware that most supplementation fails to address the body's #1 antioxidant and detoxification system. Free radicals and toxins on a daily basis assault our bodies. Stopping the inflammation they create and to successfully detoxify requires great quantities of the body's primary antioxidant, glutathione. To successfully turn on whole body glutathione production and cleanse all 37.2 trillion cells requires large amounts of the peptide cysteine, which can only come from food, and a little help from our frequency encoding science. You cannot buy cysteine in a pill. Nature's richest source of cysteine is raw whey protein powder. One World Whey is the only frequency encoded, energetically enhanced enhanced raw whey derived from Amish-raised grass-fed cows. Try it and you just might like how much better you may feel. Please call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. If you want to join us on the radio waves, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. You can Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
You want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Mark, you sent some Bitcoin today, and it was still confirming it hadn't confirmed yet. As of the time when we started the show, and you had sent it like 3 hours prior to that.
Yeah.
So there's still some problems on the old Bitcoin network, but Dash, much faster. It's decentralized. It's run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now, so go to Dash.org and find out why. It's Ian and Mark in the studio here tonight. Mark, you pulled up some more information about this case. The young lady, Michelle Carter, she's 20 years old. She's going possibly to prison, although she's going to be allowed to stay out from behind bars while her appeals are pending.
This groundbreaking case is meted out in appeals court.
It's a terrifying case because all she really did was say things that were insensitive to a suicidal man at the time at which he was going to conduct suicide on himself. She had encouraged him to do it in the first place on, I think, more than one occasion. And then when he started to back out or chicken out from killing himself with carbon monoxide poisoning in his own truck cab, she then encouraged him to stay in the cab and finish the job, which to me, seems like a case of freedom of speech. Maybe some of the most outrageous and offensive speech you could possibly say, besides just racism, which is your typical outrageous speech case. But this is another one of an outrageous type of speech. But Mark, you said, and there's more to the story here about her conviction, but you said you wanted to explain why you think she should be convicted?
No, I said I wanted to argue for it.
Oh, so you're being devil's advocate here.
Not exactly. I'm still.
So who's doing the arguing, you or the devil's advocate?
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I think here.
Then I'll let you think about it for a moment, because we've got Heather on the line in New Hampshire. It's our co-host, Heather.
Heather Mullins.
Yeah.
Hey, you're calling from
Hey, guys.
New
How you
Hampshire.
doing?
What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, God. Well, so I was just scrolling my feed, and I'm like, I have to call in with this one. Someone posted an article about a Russian Air Force aircraft flying over the U.S. Capitol.
Okay.
And apparently this isn't the first time this has happened, even though it was the first time I've ever heard about it.
Okay.
Because I started digging, I guess, and this was like just today. So obviously with all the Donald Trump and Russia stuff that we talk about on the air, I found this really interesting.
Is there any proof of this claim?
Well, apparently, I mean, it's being picked up by a ton of different sources that say, I guess there was an open skies treaty that has been in effect since 2002, and over 1,200 flights have been conducted since, which basically this treaty allegedly allows for the United States and Russia to observe the other military bases from the air, according to two people familiar with the flight. So, I mean, I've been looking into this, and there's a ton of sources. Like,
I see it here at CNN. CNN says the Russian Air Force Tupolev Tu-154 on Wednesday afternoon, that's today, passed at around 3,700 feet over downtown Washington and Joint Base Andrews in Maryland, where Air Force One is based.
Now, what do you guys make of all this? Because I'm like, oh, okay, I thought the whole, did Donald Trump hack the election with the Russians? And now all of a sudden he's got Russians flying over Air Force One and nobody's, I don't know. I've never heard of this treaty before, nor have I ever heard that there's been Russian planes flying over the Capitol.
Well, apparently, just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it hasn't existed. It says here it's been in effect since 2002, and has been over 1,200 flights have been conducted since then. So this is apparently a fairly regular occurrence, just maybe most people don't normally notice, right? Because the average person doesn't know at a glance what they're looking at. I mean, you have to be a plane expert to know.
That's not an F-18. That's an Su-24.
Right. I mean, I couldn't tell you what a Tupolev Tu-154 looks like versus any other plane. So, some plane expert probably saw this one and, alerted others.
What the heck?
Yeah. But if it's a treaty, then they're just using their rights within the treaty to, scope out their competition.
Yeah, maybe with everything heating up there with Korea, who knows?
Yeah, I did hear something about Korea's threatening Guam now.
Are they? I mean, somebody posted something the other day that really makes me wonder, is this really all about the Rothschild bank system? Because Korea is one of the few countries left, I guess, that this is one of the theories that, it doesn't have the bank, so the Rothschilds want to get in there and put one in there like they did with Iraq and Afghanistan and all these other countries that we keep meddling in.
I have no idea what... I've not heard that particular conspiracy theory, but it doesn't surprise me that it exists. I'm not sure what you do with a bank in Korea, considering the people there don't have any money.
Right.
And, they're going to, what are they going to accept Choco Pie deposits at the bank?
I honestly, I know nothing about North Korea. For me, as far as the entire world goes, North Korea to me is all I know is there's a guy with a baby face that runs it. That's the extent of what I know about Korea.
Well, it's actually a really fascinating thing. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about Venezuela these days on Free Talk Live, but we have talked about North Korea quite a bit over the years, and just because it's a study in a closed nation, in a nation where there's literally barbed wire that surrounds the entire thing. I mean, you can't go onto the beach in North Korea without crossing over some barbed wire. You can't get out of that place. I mean, it's literally a prison colony. It's a prison country, and it's just a crazy place. I mean, I could just go off on some of the things about North Korea. That they basically don't have any power during the night. The power is very scattered. It'll come and it'll go, and They blame the United States for that. The man who's in charge over there, Kim Jong-un, and his father and grandfather before him, more so his father and grandfather, were revered as like gods, basically.
He's a demigod, son of a god.
The people there are raised to believe these things, or at least purport to believe them, because if you don't purport to believe those things, you'll probably end up in a prison labor camp, which will not be a fun thing. People who've been in these prison labor camps have reported picking corn out of poop to eat, simply because they're so malnourished, and there's no real good prison food in North Korea. There's not really much food at all. The North Korean government starved their own people in the 1990s because the government was in charge of food distribution, and now people are able to eat in North Korea thanks to the black market that has been sort of allowed to run uninterrupted with the new Kim Jong-un in charge, as I understand the situation there. So it's actually the black market that's keeping people fed there in North Korea. It's a fascinating study in the failure of the state as a concept, or the total state in North Korea's case. I would recommend checking out some documentaries about North Korea. There's some fascinating stuff out there. Vice has some good ones that are relatively short. You can consume probably in an evening. There's several of like at least 3 of them that I can think of that they have. And then of course you can dig into like a Netflix or something and find all kinds of just fascinating stuff about them. Hey, Heather, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. We'll see you here tomorrow night for Free Talk Live. We got you coming up here if you want to join us. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE.
If there's a toxic chemical, biological, gas, smoke emergency while traveling at home or on your job, are you protected? Are you prepared? There are over 400,000 fires in the USA every year. Up to 85% of all deaths in a fire are due to smoke inhalation. 3 minutes without air, and we as humans will die. Be prepared and escape safely with our Safe Escape smoke hoods, giving you up to 60 minutes of breathable air protection. Order yours online at ase-safety.com. That's ase-safety.com. And get up to 40% off, plus free shipping.
Is that Ellen painting her garage?
Yesterday she was trimming her hedges.
What's her secret?
I heard she was eating this new super berry called the aronia berry.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness.
Where can we get them?
Go to superberries.com/radio. And right now we get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus we can save $4 at checkout.
I can't wait. I've got lots of projects I need to get done.
Yes, you do.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek. With But there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, Free Talk Live here. You can dial in toll-free and bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well, so feel free to Skype in here. It's Skype username LRN.FM with you tonight. It's Ian.
And Mark.
So, update, Mark, from hope.freetalklive.com. Last night, I think you were asking for $600 worth of donations to this orphanage that's being built that our listeners are helping to sponsor.
Yep.
And it came in?
Yep.
Already?
We got it. In the next phase, when I have to send that next phase out, is funded at this point.
Wow.
I did get pictures today. If you want to go to hope.freetalklive.com, you can see the new pictures I posted there. They're
going to put a roof on at some point, right?
Currently, we've got some walls up. They're going up. The kids were on the second floor
They're finishing up the second story.
Yep, taking some pictures and that sort of thing. And as soon as we're ready for the next phase, which should be the roof, I'll send that money off, and then I'll begin fundraising again. I'll come back to you again and begin raising money. But at this moment in time, I don't need it, but I'll soon.
What if somebody does send something anyway? If somebody goes to
It'll go towards the next phase. I do have some already. Yeah, it's already raised towards the next phase.
Okay, so if you feel like now's the time when you want to donate, you still can over at hope.freetalklive.com, and you'll hold it in reserve.
People do
until they're ready for that. They got to show progress, and then you give them another chunk.
You do understand that I don't want to get $5,000, way ahead, and then the building's done, and then what am I doing exactly with this $5,000?
Right.
I'm sure they could figure out something to do with it over there, but that's not the purpose of this campaign.
Sure.
This campaign is to build an orphanage that has indoor plumbing, beds, and those sorts of things for 40 orphans who are currently sleeping. And you can go see a picture now of their accommodations at hope.freetalklive.com. To get them better accommodations. And then we'll see if they need some kind of funding to get their feet on the ground for everything. But the goal is to teach them how to fish here, right? Like give them the fishing rod and the tackle and everything, and then they can they're supposed to be getting a garden together, and there's actually some work going on in the garden so that they'll be able to grow food, so that they'll be able to fund themselves and that sort of thing. Because there's a lot of young kids, but there's older kids who can do some work too, so they should be. When they're ready, when the time comes, they should be funding themselves to some extent.
The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, you can bring up anything you want, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Maybe we'll come back and talk about this Guam threat, because that's the big, scary thing right now about North Korea. And by the way, we're heard in Guam unofficially. On a radio station there that technically I can't name because we're unofficial, but we are on in Guam. So if you're in Guam and you would like to comment on this situation,
I bet it's really, really of importance to people in Guam.
I bet it's being talked about quite a bit over there. So feel free to dial us up here.
I just today I heard on National Public Radio they did an interview with a representative or a senator from Hawaii who was in Hawaii about the threats on Guam. I thought it was the most offensive thing that I could hear. Like, hey, Hawaiian representative in Hawaii, what do you think about the threats on Guam? How does that make you feel?
Guam does have a representative, don't they? They just don't get to vote on stuff.
I think they're, a representative that's not voting or whatever. It's just, you call this reporting in PR? Really? You couldn't find somebody in Guam to talk to?
Well, it's in the same
they're
corner of the
real
world.
Americans, you stinking bigots. I mean, just because well, it's not a state that I don't know what to do. I'm a dumb intern just out of college, and I want to tell stories on the radio. Right? Like, it's just so
I thought
stinking
you liked
offensive.
NPR.
I do, but you got to call people out when they do dumb things.
All right.
This was the height of stupidity. They're NPR, they're all liberal and everything's fair, and we've got the even across the board racial stuff and all that kind of thing. You bunch of stinking bigots, the Guamites or whatever, the Guamanese, whatever they are Americans. Treat them like it.
There are some people in Guam who do not want to be Americans. They'd like to secede from the United States, and I support them on that. So they might feel as though they were not ever intended to be Americans, but they were forcibly taken over by the United States government.
Well, at this point,
I understand that that's what happened.
They've got nuclear weapons pointed at them because they're the United States.
So, again,
they're basically treated like a giant aircraft carrier.
Yet another reason to secede from the United States.
Indeed. But you're not going to get rid of that base.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. That's the tricky part.
Look at Cuba.
Right.
There's
They're
no
an
relations
enemy to the U.S. Yeah.
No relations to the United States for many, many years, but that Guantanamo Bay stayed there.
Great point. So, actually, let's go to Mustafa. I just noticed he is on the line, listening to us. I don't know. I guess you're listening to us online because you're calling us on Skype. Hello, Mustafa. In, I believe, Sierra Leone. Are you with us, Mustafa? Going once? Mustafa going twice? Sometimes people will accidentally hit their mute button and they don't realize it. So, like, half the time when we don't have somebody who's there on Skype, it's almost always a mute button. But sometimes it's our computer here that messes up. Very, very rarely. We'll try him again here if we can raise him during one of the breaks and double check to see if he's actually there. So you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like Freedom, I just checked the sound card. It looks to be fine. So call us on Skype if you want. Skype username LRN.FM or toll-free 855-450-FREE. As we continue with the story here, Mark, you were going to make an argument. Now, you were going to play devil's advocate or something.
Look, I don't know what, like that term. I'm still trying to come to a conclusion.
You're still trying to come to a conclusion. Okay.
On what I think here.
Okay.
I think
so you're going to do this out loud because I had said take a break, take some time to figure it out, but you haven't figured it out
I still
yet.
have a belief. Okay, so one.
This is the case of the girl who's been sentenced to prison. The girl who's been sentenced to prison, she's 20 years old. When she was 17, she wrote some messages to what was her supposed boyfriend, encouraging him to kill himself, and he did.
Right. Michelle Crazy Eyes Carter, right? She's
there is something with this girl's eyebrows.
There's something going on there. I don't know exactly what. Okay, so Charles Manson has never killed anyone.
And he's in prison in his 80s.
He was actually sentenced to death in the California prison system.
Okay.
Then it was made unconstitutional and then reconstitutional. And so because it was made unconstitutional, he couldn't be put back on death row, if that makes sense. That guy, no one has sympathy for this insane man with the swastika tattooed on his forehead.
Yeah, but he actually had people doing his bidding of murdering people.
Uh-huh.
This is completely different. This is just some, young male who killed himself.
The testimony here from the prosecution would have you believe that she is manipulating him into killing himself. And so I would say that if we live in a country where it is possible to incite a riot, it is possible to be a principal to murder without committing murder. If it's then it is possible to use text messages to be a man, to manslaughter through text messages. So I'm not entirely clear. Now, what I am
What's the definition of manslaughter?
Manslaughter is, killing somebody sort of without.
It's really not usually intentional, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, so the charge isn't great. We don't have a charge.
This one's called involuntary manslaughter.
Right. Massachusetts doesn't have a charge for this young lady, and I suspect that they will, and I suspect other states will in the future, but today they don't have one, so they had to kind of pound an octagonal peg through a round hole. And they got it from this judge who wants to then bump it up the line to see what his superiors, in the appellate court are going to have to say regarding it.
Involuntary manslaughter, according to Wikipedia, occurs when the agent has no means no intention, or mens rea, the Latin, of committing murder, but caused the death of another through recklessness or criminal negligence.
So the idea would be that she was on this antidepressant drug, Celexa. She doesn't mean to commit murder, but
she didn't commit murder.
Well, or
she
manslaughter. She didn't mean to kill.
He's the one who hooked the damn hose up to the exhaust and put it in his window.
She badgered him on a regular basis about his own death.
Yeah, because he already tried to kill himself once, and she was just like, well, just do it then.
You helpful little harpy, shut the F up. Okay? Like, if I want to kill myself, I'll go kill myself. Why don't you go kill yourself, you freaking eyebrow-wearing
maybe
nut
she
job?
should. 855-450 free, like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears, because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1581. That's 1-800-660-1581. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411 411. Get it today at GetSell411.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and of course you can join us on the radio here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
We're going to talk more about this young woman who has been sentenced now to 15 months in jail for text messaging. And Mark, you're trying to make an argument for her going to prison, not because you actually believe that she should, but just trying to make some argument for it.
No, I think that there's an argument for it.
Yeah, but not that you believe the argument.
I don't like this young lady much at all.
Well, there's a lot of people who you don't like, but you should still defend their right to say what it is that they want to say.
I don't want to defend this right, okay? So, like,
I will. Freedom of speech is an important right. It is one of the most important rights that we have, and that includes in it. And the point of freedom of speech is to defend the undefendable. Is that if the people who say the most offensive things are prohibited from saying those things or afraid to say them because they're worried about being brought up on criminal charges, then we don't have freedom of speech. And if you go after the most unpopular speech, eventually your speech is going to become after.
Then you found my threshold. I'm not going to, no, this is not, I'm not defending this particular right.
So you'll defend somebody who is, let's say, having like the KKK or the Black Panthers or somebody like that. You'll defend them and their right to say offensive things, but not this girl?
Well, I mean, her offensive things resulted in somebody's death.
That's
right?
not what she created.
You
asked me that.
You asked me a question, asked and answered, sir.
Okay.
No. I do not defend someone's right to badger somebody who's in a suicidal state, taking them from, she badgered him over a period of time where he says, no, I am not interested in suicide, not now, not ever.
He said that?
And then, yes.
Okay.
And then she presented fact after fact after fact, or, case. She presented a case, point by point, I think is the way I'd like to describe it, as to why it's okay for him to commit suicide.
Why the world would be a better place without him?
She's a bat-ass loon, and if she drops into a meat grinder...
Well, shame on you, Mark
I'll eat a
Edge.
sandwich.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
You're kicking freedom of speech into the trash can.
I will say I'm not. This is not freedom of speech.
This is absolutely freedom of speech.
This is a nut job.
Nut job should be free to speak too.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody should be able to free to do an interpretive dance, but if you want to smear yourself in your own feces on the county courtyard, don't expect my defense. All right. That's what she's not getting. I know you will.
It's your business, man.
I know you will.
If you want to smear yourself in feces, that is your business. You're the one who has to live with that.
I'm not going to do that. But I will say this. This woman has gotten whatever punishment she merits from society. Okay, she's already gotten it. She is a pariah. Her, the results of her actions have been broadcast far and wide, and there's nothing
she's sorry now,
that the state's going to do to her in 15 months of incarceration that is going to make any particular difference in her life. Right, like the amount of time that she gets, whether it's 1 day, 15 months, or 15 years, doesn't really do anything except rob the taxpayers of the state of Massachusetts.
Sure. For what, $40,000 a year or something like that?
Yeah, whatever it is. It's probably more for ladies.
Let's go to the phones here. I did check on Mustafa, and his microphone is working now. He's calling us from, I believe, are you in Freetown tonight in Sierra Leone, Mustafa?
I don't think that microphone's
Yeah. Freetown tonight.
I think we have a lengthy delay.
Yeah, how are you guys? I'm getting you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Good. Go ahead with what you were calling about, Mustafa. Welcome.
Actually, it's taken me a while. I've been calling to the radio, and so like today I was thinking for me to come online and share my message to the people of United States in regards to our coming third entrepreneurship and prosperity.
Oh, we're losing
event
too many.
that one will
We're
take
losing
place
too
in
many
November the
packets
20th.
there. It was hard to understand what you were saying. Can you try one more time? We're going to give you another chance. The connection wasn't very good. What were you calling about?
Oh yeah, yes. Like I was trying to say, talking about our third annual entrepreneurship and prosperity event that we are coming up with.
An entrepreneurship event
in November the 28th and the 29th.
Okay, and where is this happening?
Yes, entrepreneurship and prosperity. This one will happen in Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Okay.
It'll be on November the 28th and the 29th. Yeah. And the theme supposed to be, why does Africa remain poor when we have the resources for prosperity? That is the theme of the event.
I'm gonna guess
that
the
we want to
reason.
come up with some speakers from United States.
I'm going to guess that the reason why that's happening is because of the governments that are keeping poor people poor, as they do all around the globe, by extracting as much wealth from the people in those countries as possible and using it to, build palaces or whatever for themselves, and ride around in bulletproof BMWs, with guards and things like that, as everybody else is hungry and scraping by to barely make a living. If the government won't let people get a leg up, if they won't let people stand on the rungs of the ladder of affluence and even try to create a business for themselves and put out there a product or a service into the marketplace, if that's not even allowed, then there's no way that despite all the natural resources, that wealth can be created. I mean, we're seeing that happen over in Venezuela as well, a very, very, rich country as far as resources is concerned, but with a government that has absolutely strangled the economy to death with their socialist policies. I imagine Africa is experiencing something and has been experiencing something like that. So you said that the event's coming up in November. Is it the Sierra Leone Liberty Group that is putting this on? Who's in charge of it, Mustafa?
Yes, it's the Sierra Leone Liberty Group coming up with this again, because this one will be our third annual event.
Cool.
And it's always happened in November 20. Yes. And this one will happen November the 28th and the 29th.
Hey, Mark, would you go to Sierra Leone if they came up with the money to sponsor a Free Talk Live live shot from there?
I can't imagine that they would, but that's sure.
Where would one go to learn about this event? Is there a website? I know Sierra Leone Liberty Group is SLLG.info. Is that where one would go, or is there a separate website, Mustafa?
No, like we are about to put up everything in the website. So if somebody want to go on to the website, somebody needs to pay for the event to come to the event. So we want to make up a software where people can pay online for $2 to come to the event, because $2, yes.
That's a deal.
One in our local currency. Yeah, in our local currency is like 12,000 to 15,000 leones of our local currency.
Now, the average person in Sierra Leone, what are they making per day? Less than $1 a day?
Yeah, less than $1 a day. Yeah. So we want to see how we can cater for. Yeah. We want to bring grassroots, but we want to see how we can come up with business people and even university students for them to come and get the message, because we want to see how we can
that's the kind of level where it would be easy for us to sponsor some people. So if there are people who need to get into this event, it wouldn't be a big deal to send a few bucks worth of Bitcoin over there to make sure that you guys can make sure this happens. But it sounds like it's the third year, which is cool, which means you've done this a few times. You guys are kind of getting it down, what it takes to put on a convention. And so late November, you're going to be putting information up on, is it SLLG.info? Is that where people are going to be able to get the tickets? Because it's not there right now, right?
Yeah. People will need to go to the website and get all the information and even booking for the event.
But that's not up yet.
We want to come up with 2 speakers.
That's not. Yeah, that's not there yet.
We want to come up with 2 speakers. Yeah.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
But we want to come up with 2 speakers from the state. We want to come with 2 speakers from the state. That is, we want to come with Michael Strong and our wife. So the 2 couples.
Michael Strong. Where does that name ring a bell from? What is it?
So he's an entrepreneur. He was doing the private cities thing.
Oh.
And
yeah.
I mean, he's.
Didn't we have him on?
Yeah,
at some point?
he's great in Africa. He does lots of wonderful stuff. I find the man to be an inspiration. He's he's just incredible to reading his stuff.
Mustafa, thanks for the call tonight. Thanks for sounds like it's going to be a really good event, and it sounds like it's really in need. People need to hear this message, and I hope that you can get some folks to come out and it sounds like a good time. Let us know how it goes, and if you have any announcements that you want to make about it as it gets closer, feel free to reach out to us. And thank you for the call tonight, Mustafa, calling us from Sierra Leone, one of the least free places on the planet. I don't recall where Sierra Leone was in the most recent rankings. There's different freedom rankings that come out every year. Cato Institute, I believe, does one. The Fraser Institute.
Usually Africa's not very good on that list.
It's Sierra Leone is one of the worst, if I'm recalling correctly. So, yeah, definitely a message that needs to be heard. There's more coming up. You can join us. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live. Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. For an investment of as low as $129, you can have a lifetime mining contract and support the Bitcoin network. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. It's the most profitable pool for miners, paying 120% of the block reward. That's pool.bitcoin.com.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, August 9th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.82 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,275 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,332. Antiwar.com reports taking time out of his vacation for a photo op at Trump National Golf Club. President Trump threatened to attack North Korea with fire and fury like the world has never seen if they make any threats towards the United States. The comments came after anonymous media reports on a classified analysis from U.S. intelligence officials saying that they believe North Korea has miniaturized their nuclear warheads to fit on missiles. The assessment was said to have been from last month, but Trump's reaction suggested he believed it was not only new, but something North Korea had announced as a threat. President Trump also tweeted a Fox and Friends report about North Korea having loaded cruise missiles on a patrol boat after his own administration had refused comment on the same report, saying it was based on classified intelligence. North Korea did not announce miniaturization, however, they did threaten mobilization, but only in reaction to the latest round of UN sanctions, which they describe as an attempt to strangle the nation. The U.S. had heavily backed the UN sanctions, and Trump had repeatedly bragged about their size. Reports also suggest North Korea is considering a plan to preemptively attack the U.S. territory of Guam if they believe a U.S. attack is imminent. This mirrors the threats of Trump and others to preemptively attack them, suggesting both nations continue to speed towards a military confrontation. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Disney announced on Tuesday it will remove its content from Netflix and begin its own streaming service in 2019. Disney said in a press release the new Disney-branded service will become the exclusive home in the U.S. for subscription video-on-demand viewing of the newest live-action and animated movies from Disney and Pixar, which includes Toy Story 4, the sequel to Frozen, The Lion King from Disney Live Action, along with other highly anticipated movies. Disney's Marvel TV shows like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are expected to remain on Netflix. CEO Bob Iger told CNBC that Disney had a good relationship with Netflix, but the company wants to increase its options for releasing its vast library of content to the public. Disney has been in the process of ramping up its streaming ability since it acquired a 33% stake in BAMTech, a marketing and streaming service, for $1 billion in 2016. Disney is now planning to buy a majority stake in that company for $1.58 billion to launch an ESPN streaming service in 2018. Disney said the ESPN-branded multi-sport service will offer a robust array of sports programming featuring approximately 10,000 live regional, national, and international games and events a year, including Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, Major League Soccer, Grand Slam tennis, and college sports. Individual sport packages will also be available for purchase. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports, hot on the heels of its proposal to lower nicotine levels in cigarettes, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced plans on Tuesday for an education campaign to discourage use of electronic cigarettes among youth. The plan follows the agency's proposal last month to both lower nicotine in combustible cigarettes and extend by 4 years the date by which e-cigarette manufacturers will be required to apply for authorization to sell their products. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said in a statement the new policy aims to strike a careful balance between the regulation of all tobacco products and the opportunity to encourage development of innovative tobacco products that may be less dangerous than combustible cigarettes. While public health officials welcome the proposal to lower nicotine content in conventional cigarettes, they disapprove of the proposal to extend the deadlines by which e-cigarette companies will be required to seek authorization for new and existing products. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's being called the must-have tech gadget of the year. The Samsung Apex, which hits shelves today, streams video into your left eye, internet into your right eye, and sucks your dick all at the same time. Samsung spokesman Neil Werner is projecting the biggest sales in his company's history.
Are you kidding me? This thing does everything, plus it sucks your dick, all right? And I know what you're thinking. And yes, ladies, there is a version for you that eats you out. Hanging up Apple, we beat you the punch on this one. Samsung's got you by the balls.
In spite of the almost $1,000 price tag, customers are raving about the device.
For my career, I do need the internet and TV, and my dick sucked all the time.
I already have a TV and a girlfriend and a laptop, but to have all those in one device would be really nice.
Even a run of bad press about unsafe working conditions in the Apex factory in India have not dampened sales projections.
Yeah. Factory, switch up, blah, blah. How about you just plug your eyeball straight into the internet and get your dick sucked?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Mark.
We're launching into the third hour of this program. For those of you just tuning in, we've been talking about the case out of Massachusetts with a young woman. She's 20 years old. who at the time I believe she was 17, because it was 3 years prior to where she was found guilty of encouraging her then supposed boyfriend, 18-year-old at the time, Conrad Roy, to take his life. He had apparently attempted suicide at some point in his past, I think when he was younger, like, a few years younger. And it wasn't successful, obviously, and she had been encouraging him to do it right since that point. In fact, encouraging him during the act where he had ostensibly hooked up some kind of a hose to the exhaust. The first story I read said he hooked up a hose to the exhaust pipe and put it in his window. This story says it was the water pump on the truck that somehow generated the carbon monoxide that ultimately killed him. But in the process of him trying to kill himself, he sent her a message saying that he was scared and that he'd gotten out of the truck. And she's then
like, get back in there.
Yep, she then encouraged him.
You see, the problem with a text is there's a tone to it.
There's not a tone to text.
Well, yeah, right. But I mean, there's a tone in my head.
Right, you read in a tone.
Right.
But it may or may not have been the intended
tone.
Right. Text is notoriously bad for communicating anything at all that is subtle.
Yeah. Best I can tell, this lunatic believed she was helping
the girl.
Yeah, in some way, shape, or form. But with her kind of help isn't really very helpful.
Let's go to the phones, to the fun. We've got Larry. He's on the line in Utah, listening on the radio. Hey, Larry, you listening to Kaya? Do we have Larry? Larry going once?
Yes, you've got me.
Hey, yes, we do.
You hear me?
Yes, we got you now. Go ahead.
Okay. I've talked with you before.
Yeah.
I just would make a comment on this, the freedom of speech. There's limits to freedom of speech in America and just about anywhere else they have it. Not a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't, for instance, go into a theater and yell fire.
That is not a free speech limit. So it's commonly cited as an example of a limitation on free speech. But the reality is free speech only applies to what you say on your own property or on public property. So the example of the theater doesn't apply because that's someone else's private property, and they are well within their rights to put rules on their private property about what you can and can't do. So it's not a good example of that. But a better example would be
it's an example that's used all the time, whether it's good or bad. If you was a father and you talked your son onto a diving board and he was only 2 or 3 years old, he fell off and drowned. I don't know whether that could be construed as free speech. You were just talking to your son, and you weren't intending to kill him.
Well, I would say in that
he
circumstance,
still died because he fell in the water because of what you said.
As I would say, as the father,
there's all kinds of things that could happen like that, and I think free speech has to be watched a little bit on how it's used against other people.
I think that people are responsible.
Against a group of people, another story.
The people are responsible for the consequences of their actions, and if that action is speech, they're responsible for the consequences of their speech. That's what I would say regarding that. However, in your example with the father trying to cajole his 2-year-old up onto a diving board for whatever bad reason one might do that, that father's likely been punished with the loss of his child. All he needs to be punished. Like I think here in America that we're so quick to incarcerate people for no particularly good reason, and that in that circumstance, how am I served as the American public by incarcerating some numbskull who thinks it's a good idea for 2-year-olds to learn how to dive?
Well, that was probably a very poor example for me to say that.
But it happens.
I thought it was a good example.
It's a good example because it happens all the time.
That in Florida, they put the man in jail for a while.
Yeah, they do that
right.
stuff.
Why should I have to pay his jail time because he did something dumb and killed his son?
Right.
I think a better example is...
There are limits that
there are limits to
are
speech.
maybe not in writing, but we have to understand as human beings, and hopefully smart human beings, that there are just things you don't say.
I think that a better example would be threatening speech. So, I'm going to kill you or something like that. It delivered in a way that actually creates the fear of imminent harm or death in the person who it was delivered to.
Not an ultimatum like Trump gave North Korea today. North Korea basically said to North Korea, quit threatening us or you'll receive, I can't remember what it was, fire and brimstone or something like that. Mm-hmm. Now, that's an ultimatum. If you do this, then I will do that. That's not a threat, although, it gets put in the category of a threat. There's two types of threats. There's this sort of general threat, which is, I'm going to punch you in the nose. And then there's the ultimatum sort of threat is, if you step on my property or you take one step closer to my wife, I'm going to punch you in the nose, right? Like, those are two different
completely different. Yeah, and I think that if you are in a, and I think the circumstances also depend, on whether or not it should or shouldn't be restricted. If you're in the same room with somebody and they say, I'm going to punch you in the nose, and they start coming at you, you have reason to believe that that's a real threat. You have the right, in my opinion, to defend yourself against that person.
There are those in the libertarian circles that would say that you are overreacting and that you need to wait until you are punched in the face in order to react. And this is one of the things that I'm trying to portray to people is that, at some point or another, you become responsible for your speech. And all I'm saying is expect me to not defend the very fringe of lunatic speech.
But I don't think that the same person saying, I'm going to punch you in the nose or I'm going to kill you on a, anonymous YouTube comment is in the same, in the same realm at all of this is a feeling like a legitimate threat.
If you are threatening violence against somebody,
how could it be if it's not directed at anyone specific?
Well, it could be at somebody specific, but it's over 1,000 miles or 100 miles or however far away that could be next door.
Planes, planes fly thousands of miles in a day in just a few hours.
Well, you better get cracking because there's a lot of people making a lot of anonymous threats on the internet.
Not my job. Hey,
what I mean? Larry, thanks for weighing in on this, man.
You,
I appreciate hearing from you tonight. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. Like Freedom. Doug is in New Jersey, listening online. Hello, Doug.
Hey, guys. I was listening. It's a great conversation you're having tonight.
Sure.
I called the other day. I'm Doug, SITTEL on YouTube.
Oh, you're the guy who's claimed to be calling from jail.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and you promote your YouTube channel constantly during your calls. So what were you calling about tonight? Are you still in jail?
Hey, you asked me about how I got to jail. You can hear the conversation. It's one that says, drag this to 14 minutes. I worked with some judges in North Jersey. They were actually erasing all the transcripts, and they said, look, if you tell anybody, we're going to throw you in jail. Then they said, if you don't give us the tapes, we're just going to fire you from the job. I went down to Charleston. You can hear the guy trying to plant a gun and a knife on me after he beats me with a steel pipe. It's all on my YouTube. So that's what I was trying to tell you the other day.
Yeah, you told us all that the other day. Do you have anything new to tell us?
No, that's it pretty much. I'm trying to get the message out.
Because, it sounds like you might be, I'm just going to let you know an honest assessment here. It sounds like you might be a little crazy. Is that possible?
Not if you listen to the guys speaking in their own words on the YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't know what those are. You just have some audio. I did, by the way, the first night you called, I did visit your YouTube channel, and it's very, very lengthy recordings that, the average person isn't going to take the time to listen to. I understand that you would probably argue that it's all very important, so, you put the whole recordings up, and it is important to certainly, if you're going to make claims, you want to put all the context up so people can hear the entire thing. And, if these horrible things are actually happening to you, then I feel, terrible about that.
Well, the one that says drive this to 14 minutes, you can hear him specifically saying, if you're telling us, we're just going to throw you in jail.
Why would you keep working with these people at that point?
I'm not working. You can hear him. He's following me around the country. I was down in Charleston. He says, look, here's what I'm going to do.
This is a judge? A judge?
I worked in the courts with these guys for 3 years.
Uh-huh. And who was following you around the country?
You can hear the guy.
I'm not going to hear the guy. I'm asking you a question because you're on the phone with us, so you can answer the questions.
Well, you have a judge that claims responsibility for it in Passaic County, and he has his friend trying to beat me with steel pipes and plant a gun and a knife on me. The picture of the hand over the brass in my YouTube.
Yeah, audio is. Audio is. It can be useful, but without real context, without the video footage, it's not as useful because, for all we know, you just put this audio together in your den or your basement or something like that, and it's all happening in your head. Doug, thanks for the call tonight. I wish you the best. I think 855-450-FREE.
What I did and run out. If it's working, don't quit. Why would you stop? Why undo all the good that's been accomplished?
You've got to feed them right for life.
Dynavite
is nutrition.
If I ever took Roy off of Dynavite.
No. When I get to about 3/4. When I get down to the bottom of my box of Dynavite. Oh no, I've got a couple more scoops. It's time to place my order. Dynavite.com. DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dynavite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-557-0158. That's 800-557-0158. Again, 800-557-0158.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live, and of course you can join us on the radio waves by dialing toll-free. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype, so feel free to Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. So Free Talk Live brought to you by Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Go to victimlesscrimespree.com, and that is where you can watch Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree for free on the internet. It's a feature-length documentary film all about our friend and former co-host Derek J. Freeman and his 5 arrests that happened to him while he was here for his first year after having moved here for the New Hampshire Freedom Migration to the Keene, New Hampshire area. Got arrested a bunch for some civil disobedience and some other silly nonsense, and we made a documentary film about it. You can go and watch it. It's great. Go check it out at victimlesscrimespree.com. Coming up, by the way, on its 5th anniversary. Hard to believe that it's already been half a decade since we released, or in a month, it'll be half a decade since we released Victimless Crime Spree. So that's coming up, the 5-year anniversary celebration. We're trying to work up something behind the scenes to celebrate that, but I don't want to say what it is because it hasn't been done yet. So don't want to tease anybody with something that may or may not end up panning out. But something else that happened recently was there is a new documentary film that was just released this week. So Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree was the first freedom documentary that was made here in New Hampshire by people who moved here as part of this New Hampshire freedom migration that we mentioned, that we talk about a lot here on Free Talk Live. It was Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree was the first one. That was in 2012. In 2014, there was the 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, which is a little shorter. That one's only an hour long. Derek J's is feature length, so it's a 90-minute film. The 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, great documentary film that just is an excellent overview of why New Hampshire is such a special place, why it's already the freest place in the United States, arguably the freest place in the world. If you look at different factors,
you got to massage some numbers, but yeah, it's the massaging is possible.
But as far as destinations for libertarians, this is the place to go, and that movie really lays it out why it's so awesome for liberty-minded people to be in New Hampshire, where we actually have a chance to roll back the state and stop the growth of government. It's actually working and it's happening here. So that happened in 2014, and now here we are in 2017. Where the reason I was out on Sunday, and I haven't actually talked about what I did Sunday night, why I wasn't here, was because I was invited to the premiere of the newest documentary that was produced and directed by sometime occasional guest co-host on this show, Rob Mathias. Used to host his own show, The Rebel Love Show. He gave up doing that last year to focus on different media efforts, this movie that he made being one of them. He basically spent the last year of his life putting together this film. And it's about the New Hampshire Hempfest. Mark, you and I were there last year with Daryl. We'll
be there again this year.
Yep. We're going to be there this year. It's coming up actually at the end of this month. But if you want
that soon?
Yeah, dude, we're 2 weeks away at this point.
Oh, geez.
From the next Hempfest, which has actually been renamed. It's now the New Hampshire Cannabis Freedom Festival. I think that's a better name, personally, because it's all about cannabis and freedom together in the same festival. Very cool. Lots of music, wall-to-wall tunes. Just
lots
awesome
of people
bands.
free of their shirts.
Yes, which is something you didn't actually see in this documentary, surprisingly, considering how shirtless the population was there, especially some of the females. I thought for sure some of them were going to make it into the documentary, but that was one aspect that they didn't cover. But, you can only cover so much in an hour and a half. And so he made a feature-length documentary film about New Hampshire Hempfest, last year's, the one that we were at. In fact, we appear in this movie for a short period of time toward the beginning, and Free Talk Live gets credit at the end, so thanks to Rob for including us there. And it was nice to, it was a great event to attend, and this movie gives you, I think, a really good taste of what it was like. Obviously, you can never know until you're actually there experiencing the thing, but it gives you a good idea of, the music. The entire thing is set to music. So underneath everything that's being said during this documentary, it's music that was actually recorded professionally. So it sounds good. It wasn't like somebody sitting there with a handheld voice recorder or something. Not like a bootleg. They actually got it off the mixing board. So like really good sounding live audio from all these bands plays throughout the entire 90 minutes. During it, they sort of stopped down on each day to feature one of the final bands from each day in an actual music video kind of format where multiple cameras recorded the crowd and the band and all that. So there's some really good music video sequences, interviews and things that sort of happened there, taking you through the whole weekend and what it was like to kind of attend and see this event. So I thought it was really well done, especially for his first effort out. I mean, it's not an easy thing. It's hard to edit a 5-minute video, let alone a 90-minute feature-length.
Oh yeah, it's work.
Documentary film. So kudos to the folks over at Spirit Love Productions for putting this together. The video is available to watch for free online. So if you want to, again, as I said, if you want to get a taste of what it was like to be at Hempfest last year, get an idea for what it might be like again this year, this is a great way to do it. And you get a little taste of the vistas of Rogers Campground in a way that you and I, Mark, had never experienced, because they had a drone there. And so that, I mean, drones are so affordable these days. It was really smart move to have drone footage in this movie. It would have been fine without the drone footage, but that really took, in my opinion, it took the way the movie felt, the representation of the place and the time there to a new level. Because you can capture stuff with a video camera at ground level, and that's fine. But to have the drone sort of hovering above a crowd watching a band and then rise up so you can see the size of the crowd, like sort of zooming out from that, and having the drone look at a sunset over at Rogers Campground, so no trees are in the way. I mean, the vistas that are in this documentary are pretty spectacular, and they give you, like I said, a taste of what it's like to kind of take it all in when you're actually there in person. So that's where I was on Sunday night. I was at the premiere of this particular movie, and again, it's now available for free if you want to watch it. Go to freekeen.com. It's the top story right there right now. It's available free on YouTube and Facebook, so you can watch it on whatever free video platform that you prefer. So check it out. It's the New Hampshire Hempfest documentary, and once again, the next one is called New Hampshire Cannabis Freedom Festival. Same organizer, but they changed the branding of the event. Same concept, just wall-to-wall bands all weekend long for three solid days. And it's going to be a lot of fun. August 25th through the 27th. That's when it's coming up, and it's coming up fast. Tickets, general admission, are only $100 for the weekend. So you think about the amount of bands that you'll get to see for this, and even if you don't see them, you'll hear them, because if you're waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning, that first band's going on. So you're gonna be hearing those bands no matter where you are in the park, which is actually pretty nice, because you don't actually have to stand there and watch. You can still kind of walk around and hang out and still listen to what's happening. So check it out at nhcannafest.com. That's nhcannafest. CANNAFEST, nhcannafest.com. I just helped them out this last weekend, actually on Sunday before the premiere. Helped out nhcannafest.com get their Bitcoin ticketing system up and running. So thanks to bitpay.com, they now have Bitcoin ticketing options. So for those of you who wanted to pay with Bitcoin last year but couldn't, now you can. And, of course, there's VIP and Ultimate VIP packages and day passes available. All of those available for Bitcoin, or if you want to do it the old-fashioned way with credit cards, they can take that too. It's, again, August 25th through the 27th. We're going to be there broadcasting, and we're going to be outside this time, so it's going to be even better for us. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Welcome aboard. Your new science fiction adventure is ready to launch. Discover an amazing journey at GalaxyQuestBooks.com. Start a new sci-fi adventure with the Guardian series, a classic sci-fi mystery that starts 500 years in the future. From author D. Arthur Gussner. Series available from Barnes & Noble or Amazon as paperback or ebooks. GalaxyQuestBooks.com, where the adventure begins.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agoristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free and join us on the radio waves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're going to get back into your phone calls and thoughts, and then when we get the chance, we'll talk more about this this person, this female who is maybe going to go to prison for sending some text messages encouraging what was her supposed boyfriend to kill himself. We'll get back into that discussion here. Ian and Mark in the studio tonight. Also, do want to invite you over to freetalklive.com, where you can drop an email address into our email subscribing box there, and you can get email updates from us on a once-a-week basis, kind of clue you in with the latest on what's going on with Free Talk Live. So sign up for the emails over at freetalklive.com. Let's go to the phones to the fun. We've got Todd. He's in Ohio, listening online. Hello, Todd.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Well, number one, this tragedy, I mean, the whole thing is an absolute tragedy.
Yes.
Right? And you can't, regardless of anyone's opinion, you can't text anyone and say, just go through with it, right? Just go through with it, just do it. It's a terrible thing, right? It's a terrible thing.
You're talking about the girl who texted her supposed boyfriend to kill himself.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I'm just wondering, I mean, she even admitted, she's saying, like, before she tried to get her help many times. Didn't she? Am I correct?
She tried what? I'm sorry?
She tried to get the guy help many times, correct?
Did she? I didn't remember hearing about that.
Well, I don't have I don't know everything about this case by any stretch of the imagination. There are some years worth of texts going on between these two that they call boyfriend and girlfriend who hadn't seen each other for a friggin' year.
And apparently lived an hour away. You looked at a different article. It wasn't 100 miles. It was only an hour.
Miles. It was an hour
That's
away.
Probably like 30 miles or
like
40.
Couple few towns, like 2 towns in between. And I don't know. This isn't boyfriend, girlfriend. This is just texting pen pals, best I can tell. As far as trying to get help, one of the complaints is that she didn't try to get help on the day of, or the time surrounding it. So
right, but how many times do you think? I mean, and again, this is just an opinion because honestly, for what she did, she needs to go to prison. I will say it up front.
Why?
But well, honestly, with my children, I'd want the same thing.
Indeed, the family's very upset and wants her to get more time. They want a new law called Conrad's Law, and that sort of thing. But
what are these people? I mean, there's always this bloodlust after something like this happens, as though that punishing this girl is going to.
I'm not going to call this bloodlust, Ian.
Yeah, but it's common for people who've been victimized, their family members have been victimized, to want to see somebody else get hurt. And I don't believe for a moment that that's going to fill whatever hole they have inside of them. I don't believe that for a moment. I don't think it's going to make anything better. Why would you say that this girl should go to prison, Todd?
You can't put anything in writing. You can't, well, I'd say that, but, you just can't say that. You can't put it in text to go through with it. And, how long has this been going on? So,
apparently for years, because I remember the previous story said that she'd been trying to get him to kill himself for a long time, right? Like this was an ongoing thing where she would encourage him to just get it over with because she supposedly was frustrated by him constantly talking about it.
I'm not sure frustrated is a word that's shown up in any of the articles here, but it certainly seems like she wanted to have that happen. Some of the claims are that she wanted the attention that she might get from friends for having a boyfriend.
Because the boyfriend had killed himself. Oh, you poor girl.
Right, the boyfriend who you hadn't seen for a year. You and your eyebrows are crazy, lady. I don't know. For me, again, this is the kind of speech that I'm not going to defend. And don't expect me to shed a tear this evening with the thought that Michelle Crazy Eyebrows Carter might spend 15 months in a Massachusetts state prison. It doesn't bother me that might occur, but I think from a legal standpoint, it's likely that we'll see this overturned. This is a weird case, and it's not spelled out clearly enough. Apparently, we need even more precise laws in this country as to what constitutes, aiding and abetting a nut, or whatever. And I think that what really the problem here is that, they're both crazy and he's dead. And people are like, well, how come both of you crazy nuts didn't do it together? Why do you get to be alive and he has to be dead? And your eyebrows bother me.
But why, Todd? I mean, maybe I didn't get a clear enough answer. Why do you think she should go to prison?
That's it's tough. It's tough because, the second half of me, and again, I'm kind of torn between this, is that maybe she didn't even really think he was going to go through with it. I mean, he's been doing it for years, right?
Teasing about it, sure.
Teasing about it. How would she even know?
Well, in this case, she was on the phone with him, and supposedly, and I don't understand this, she heard him screaming through the phone while he was dying in the truck over the course of 20 minutes.
Screaming?
It doesn't make any sense.
That's not my understanding of how carbon monoxide poisoning goes.
That's my understanding of the testimony in the trial.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
I agree.
Right. There's too many unanswered, questions in this. And another thing that I wonder, where are the parents in all this? I mean, if this kid, very unfortunate young man, if he was this depressed, was he taking it all out on this woman?
Well, apparently the parents were at the trial, so I don't know. At what level of knowledge did they have about their son's propensity towards suicide?
They thought that he was sort of cleared up. He was getting his he had gotten his captain's license. He'd graduated high school. He was moving forward in his life. He had just gone to the beach with his family, and he had bought the kids ice cream.
Jeez.
And then
everything was normal to them then.
Off he goes in the pickup truck and kills himself. And he would not have done it, in all likelihood, if she hadn't have continued to coax him back into that vehicle. That's the part that gets her. Okay,
Is that right?
Right. Like, well, he had gotten out of the vehicle and she told him to get back in. One would presume he would be alive, at least for some days afterwards, if she hadn't said get back in. That's the killer. If she goes to prison...
Well, the killer was carbon monoxide.
The killer's this nut.
The killer is the carbon monoxide that he hooked up a hose to his exhaust pipe and put through his window and then killed himself with. The fact that you guys want to blame this woman for what this man chose to do, you're going to blame somebody else for the actions of an individual. As mentally disturbed as he or she may have been, it ultimately was his choice to kill himself. She did not kill him. She just simply encouraged him to do it. And I say that's freedom of speech.
Well, it's not. Okay, so freedom of speech comes with responsibility. You're responsible for your actions.
You are not responsible for someone else's actions.
I am free to move my arms around in space. When they contact with the side of your head, I become responsible.
That's right.
When your words cause the death of someone else, you become responsible for it.
If Daryl walks in this room and says, Mark, you need to attack Ian, and you do it, you're the one who's responsible for it. He just made a suggestion.
If Daryl,
maybe
over
irresponsible,
the course of 3 years, continues to cajole me again and again and again, then, maybe Daryl then becomes responsible in some way, shape, or form.
No, stop taking your onus of responsibility off yourself and putting it in somebody else's hands.
When Daryl shows me all the good points behind it, I mean, you haven't looked into this case in any way, shape, or form, really. You haven't spent much time on it at all. This lady...
We talked about it months ago on this
Yeah, we did,
program.
and you barely remember any of it.
I remembered enough to remember that he killed himself via what I thought was a hose hooked up to his exhaust pipe.
Yeah, you got a major fact of the case right. That's correct.
You didn't remember that.
What do you mean? That there was a hose?
Yeah, you didn't remember that.
I knew there was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
How else? I mean, look, I don't know if he used a machine.
The fact that I don't know all the details in the case, Mark, is irrelevant. She did not kill this man.
He's
the
responsible.
fact that you are saying that she's responsible
for her
is outrageous.
She's responsible for actions.
Yeah, texting in a phone. That's not a crime, nor should it ever be a crime as far as I'm concerned.
She did tell him. Yeah, she did tell him to go through with it.
He'd be alive. He would have been alive.
Yeah, he didn't have to listen to her. That's his fault.
Indeed,
if he's that easy to be manipulated, that's his own fault.
Yeah.
Stop being such a dupe.
Are you clearing out the gene pool now, buddy?
I'm not clearing anything out. He did. Thanks for the call tonight, Todd. Appreciate it.
He was clearing out the gene pool anyway. He had a girlfriend he hadn't seen for a year and a half that lived 2 towns over.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I'm sorry. I think criminal courts need to be spending their time on crimes with victims. This is a victimless crime.
The family feels like a victim.
Too bad. That's, they need to take it up with their dead son because he's the one who killed himself. Keep the responsibility where it belongs, in the individual who did the act. More coming up.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews, here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. And remember, there are never any fees no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days free at buysellmakeoffer.com.
Our planet is but a giant petri dish swirling with pathogens, all mixed by the filthy stirring straw that is the world's fauna. Simply by sitting on her eggs and breathing, this duck unleashes a torrent of avian botulism, cholera, and duck plague into the air. These jousting elk slough off bits of skin and fur, sending millions of harmful bacteria into the air. Our closest relative, the chimpanzee, is itself the fountainhead of AIDS. Bitter at the ascendancy of man, these scheming apes brood this deadly virus in their jungle lairs. Nowhere on Earth is safe from the threat of animals. Even in the bitter wasteland of the Antarctic, penguins walk for miles inland, ensuring their afflictions reach every corner of the globe.
This is the Onion News Network.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. There's enough time for you if you want to dial in right now. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And moments remain here. Enough time for you, Mark and Ian, in the studio. You can join us online, become an amplifier, support Free Talk Live for $5 a month. That's money that we will invest into the show to get us on more radio stations around the country, bring new internet listeners on board, expose new people to the ideas of freedom, liberty, peace, cryptocurrency, all that. You can get signed up over at amp.freetalklive.com, AMP, as in advertise, market, and promote, because that's what we intend to do with the money, over at amp.freetalklive.com. Get a list there of the perks that you will get, like access to the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only podcasts, the AMP-only call-in lines. There's some perks there for you over at amp.freetalklive.com, amp.freetalklive.com. Any major credit card, or most of them, and then also PayPal and Bitcoin. Those are the ways you can sign up for $5 a month at amp.freetalklive.com. Back to the phones and the fun. We go to Mark in Utah, listening online. Go ahead, Mark. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian and a different Mark.
Hey, guys.
Hey there.
So I wanted to talk about, did you guys hear the story about the FBI raided the offices of Paul Manafort?
Who's that?
Today? Paul Manafort was one of Donald Trump's, I think during the campaign, he was like the convention manager. Like he was sort of like a campaign manager / convention manager.
Okay.
For the early part of his campaign before.
He was also at that meeting with Trump Jr. and the Russians.
Yes. And so the thing about Paul Manafort is I think the reason why they're thinking that he's got some kind of a link to Russia is because prior to the fall of the Ukrainian government, when Yanukovych was still in power, before they had their big revolution or whatever it was a CIA operation, he was actually, Paul Manafort was a lobbyist for President Yanukovych and the Ukrainian government at the time. And that the Ukrainian government at that time was very pro-Russian. And so they're thinking that that's why I think that they're going after him, is because he's lobbied for pro-Russian governments before.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be all very interesting, but to me, at this point, Russia is just a Democrat for Benghazi, as far as I'm concerned. It's just all politics.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks for bringing it up, Mark. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. Let's continue. We've got Dave. He's on the road in Montana. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
This is Steve.
Oh, sorry, Steve. Go ahead, Steve. You're on the air.
All right, then screw Dave. It's Steve.
Well, on the thing with the boyfriend-girlfriend, the suicide thing.
Michelle Carter. Yep.
Yeah, the girl should be held accountable.
Why?
Even more so if the guy had any mental issues. It's even more deplorable that she would.
It's pretty clear she did too.
It's deplorable, but that doesn't mean she should go to prison for texting the guy.
There should be laws for anyone. That's a huge thing with schools these days of kids bullying.
He wasn't even in school.
Yep, but I'm just saying there should be consequences for people who encourage that.
So this is the cyberbullying argument, and I would say that if anything, that's the best argument that you have here for this girl, is that she was cyberbullying him. But I don't think she was. But I don't think cyberbullying should be a crime either. Come on, grow some thick skin. This is the internet. There's a bunch of a-holes out there hiding behind their keyboards with total anonymity or near total anonymity, and they will say anything they darn well please. And you know what? You need to learn to deal with it. Thicken up the skin a little bit, kid.
They need to be held accountable for their actions the same way that the police shootings of unarmed, innocent people should be held accountable also.
Sure, people should be held accountable, but now you're talking about murdering people, shooting them down in the streets, versus some crazy person who just said something on the internet or over a text message. I mean, what accountability should there be besides the embarrassment factor of, wow, this woman is so, dumb and so ridiculous. Look at what she did and look at what happened as a result of that. But to go to prison, that's not the kind of accountability that's going to make anything better.
When there's laws and a precedent set, a court case where that goes down that way, then people might think twice, same way as the police shootings.
They won't. How many news reports did this girl watch at age 17?
Well,
I'm going to tell you zero.
Hold on. So having read this article top to bottom, she said post death here, shortly after that, while she was texting with her friend, because they got all these texts and they poured through them all, that she's like, if he didn't delete those texts, I'm going to prison. So at the very least, she believed at the time
that she'd done something wrong.
I think this may be an argument against the caller, frankly, because she believed that she was going to go to prison for what she had done. She already thought that there was a law sufficient enough to send her to prison. Now, I'd say that she's not an a-hole. She's a lunatic, and she's probably just as messed up in the head as this kid is, but people are angry because she's alive and he's dead. It would have been a sad story of a lover's pact if
they did it together.
If they did it together, and it wouldn't have had nearly as many legs. But here you have a blonde, relatively attractive except for those eyebrows, sort of
not attractive
Black Widow situation going on, and that makes just for much better headlines.
Yeah.
Now, I think that this lady's life has been ruined by these
headlines. You can hold somebody accountable without sending them to prison. Then you're just making it so everybody in the community has to pay to keep this person behind bars who is in no way a danger to anybody out there. The fact that she said a few words...
She's probably got some suicidal guys contacting her right now. That's how crazy this world is.
Fine. Let her talk to suicidal guys into killing themselves.
She's the opposite of a suicide helpline.
Right, yeah. I mean, who cares?
Awful lunatic.
Look,
there needs to be consequences for all the other cases also that are similar with the bullying and the same way accountability. We need We have lots of good cops. Unfortunately, there's lots of cops that shouldn't even be cops.
I would rather have the police, if we're going to have the government police, I'd rather have them investigating a case of a murderer, of an arsonist, of something where other people, innocent people, are put into jeopardy. This guy killed himself. She didn't pull the trigger. She didn't put the hose in the window. She didn't do anything except send a text message. Not a crime. Sorry.
And lots of other teenagers have killed themselves because of bullying.
I understand that. Get off the internet. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Thanks for the call, Dave. I appreciate it. Drive safe out there.
The difference between this and cyberbullying is that in cyberbullying, they're saying you're a terrible person, you're yucky or whatever. You're not taking the side of the victim. Now, what this woman did is she's his friend. She's with him for 3 years. She's become a Confederate or confidant is she is working to provide him the best information, probably by her own estimation, that she's got, and certainly he feels like she's doing that too. That's the difference here. If with a cyberbully, that's all over the place on the internet. You can just
hit the block button.
Go put a video on YouTube if you want to see some cyberbullying. You'll get it right away.
Oh yeah.
They're out there and they're a bunch of jerks.
Sure.
Up and down the line. So yes, you should develop some thick skin. The difference is in this circumstance is what's the thick skin for people that care about you. Right, to this kid.
I see what you're saying. He was vulnerable to her.
I'm looking at him. I'm looking at her. I'm saying she is out of his league, kind of attractive, and that means that
you're really into this girl. I don't know, man. I don't know what she's doing for you.
I'm thinking about suicide. Maybe
let's go to Robert. Her. He's in Reno.
Maybe she can help
Mark. Robert, go ahead with your thoughts. Hey there.
Hey, before I get to my point, I just wanted to mention the topless girls at Hempfest.
Yeah.
You mentioned that the documentary crew didn't cover them. Wouldn't expose be a better word?
Sure. Great point. Yes. But unfortunately, that footage was not present in the movie. It probably wouldn't have flown with YouTube, I suppose. So maybe that's why.
Anyway.
If you want to see it, you'll just have to go this year.
I think regarding the girl and the boy who killed himself, I really think it comes down to whether or not it should be illegal to make someone think or feel something. In other words, to have the influence over someone. And the other things that I think about that are similar to this case would be something like Charles Manson, who, they convicted for convincing other people to kill others. And then I also think of other people that may have good influence over people, such as psychologists. Someone that has convincing methods to discuss something with someone and then convince them that they should act otherwise.
Robert, thanks for weighing in, even though we had a short shrift here for you. Thanks for the call tonight. We're out of time, but we'll be back tomorrow. You can always join the conversation about anything on Free Talk Live and take control of the airways. We'll see you in the meantime online at freetalklive.com.
Have you ever... Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, August 9th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.82 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,275 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,332. Antiwar.com reports taking time out of his vacation for a photo op at Trump National Golf Club. President Trump threatened to attack North Korea with fire and fury like the world has never seen if they make any threats towards the United States. The comments came after anonymous media reports on a classified analysis from U.S. intelligence officials saying that they believe North Korea has miniaturized their nuclear warheads to fit on missiles. The assessment was said to have been from last month, but Trump's reaction suggested he believed it was not only new, but something North Korea had announced as a threat. President Trump also tweeted a Fox and Friends report about North Korea having loaded cruise missiles on a patrol boat after his own administration had refused comment on the same report, saying it was based on classified intelligence. North Korea did not announce miniaturization, however, they did threaten mobilization, but only in reaction to the latest round of UN sanctions, which they describe as an attempt to strangle the nation. The U.S. had heavily backed the UN sanctions, and Trump had repeatedly bragged about their size. Reports also suggest North Korea is considering a plan to preemptively attack the U.S. territory of Guam if they believe a U.S. attack is imminent. This mirrors the threats of Trump and others to preemptively attack them, suggesting both nations continue to speed towards a military confrontation. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy